What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Black Sheep Perspective. We're living in some crazy times, and I got one of my craziest homegirls with me today, and I just can't wait to talk about a bunch of dumb shit. Nyssa, my sis, my fam, welcome to the podcast.
What's up?
Put that mic a little bit closer to you.
Oh, okay.
I like it something, you know.
Right there.
You know. Yeah. That's how we're starting off. That's it. That's what it is. Cheers, sweetie.
Cheers.
Thank you for being here. Salud.
Thank you for having me.
Man, I was just actually funny. We're doing the podcast today, and I was watching Joe Rogan's podcast with Joe. Oh my God, Joey Diaz. I couldn't say his name out. The comedian, and I forgot how long their past is. You know, and you got to be into what they're talking about in order to really appreciate it. But basically, they were just digging down into like when they started as comedians and who helped who and who influenced who. And, you know, I love that part, man. I love to know the history behind that. And I know that you and I, we talk about old school things. Every time you're driving, you're always posting these old school songs. And I'm like, look at her, feeling these jams. Don't you think it's a shame that, like, I don't know what generation, I don't know what the age limit is to cut it off, but, like, those songs that we love so much, they're just slowly withering away. And they'll only be known to us when we're like 50, 60, like the way our parents played the Temptations or something.
Yeah. It's funny because I was playing some stuff at my job the other night, and I had some younger kids there, and they were like, what is that? I've never heard that. And I was like, are you serious? You don't know anything about Joe or Rome or certain Boys to Men songs? I was like, this is retarded. I was like, you guys are, no, you can't do this.
But are you ever bumping because you're bumping 90s music, basically. But you're always bumping that, you know, boo, love, and sex and grind, you know, bumping, you know. But are you bumping the other hip-hop stuff, or is it more when you're in your feelings and that's when you dig into
here
that?
And there, and it's not so much that I'm in my feelings. I just really I've always loved, like, that old school R&B. Even back then, I loved it. So I was always playing it, and it's not even a feelings thing. I like to sing to it, and, you know, on the way up here, that's what I was doing.
You got a 15-year-old daughter, 15, right? 15-year-old daughter. 15. She has to be bumping all this new shit little by little for the last whatever amount of years, right? So do you ever sit back? Because I'm not around it like that, and I don't like the majority of that bullshit. But when you hear some of their comparables, some of their, like, who would be the Jodeci? Who would be the Tank? Who would be the Casey and JoJo? Who would be Babyface? Who would be, you know, all these names that we can go down, you know, all these dope-ass artists that we grew up to. Do they exist in this era or this new era of theirs? Have you caught on to somebody where you're like, okay, he's garbage, but he's considered the Usher. These people don't even know Usher. These kids don't even fuck with Usher.
I really can't. I think the only one that I could think of off the top of my head right now would be Bruno Mars. Because
that's a great call.
Some of his songs they have that old school vibe.
Would you say, nah, he wouldn't be the MJ? Maybe, I don't know. Because he's not a Michael Jackson, but he's got that flavor. He's got that swag, but not the full blown. Because then you got, I mean, I know this dude, Weeknd, sounds like him. His music is more like him. I just think that Bruno has more of that funk, that pop, that dance, that
and
star
that soul,
appeal.
You know, has like that soul
Hitman.
vibe.
So he's got like a mixed breed of James Brown and Michael Jackson in him. I think that's the first time I've ever thought about that.
I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah. James, that's another name that, you know, you have to be 50 or better to know who James Brown is. And even if you're 50, you might not have been that keen on him, you know? And it's crazy because music has such a huge impact and on the world. And I think we realize that more each year. I mean, by now, I think it's easy to say hip-hop is the biggest influence on the nation. Think about that.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's not sports stars. It's no longer a Tiger Woods or Michael Jordan or anything like that. It's it's certain rappers and what they do. And it's the Jay-Z's and the Beyoncé's, and, you know, it's hip-hop, you know, and it's let me tell you something. For you guys listening, I don't care what age group you're in, but especially if you're young, or even more so, especially if you're in our age group, you have to look up on Netflix. Oh my God, what's it called? Hip Hop Evolution. Hip Hop Evolution. I think that's what it's called. Please feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Leave a comment or something. I think it's called Hip Hop Evolution. Okay, it's a series. It's a 3-part series. Phenomenal. this dude, young black dude who happens to be a rapper as well, but he's also an editor and other stuff. He did a phenomenal job. I mean, he just killed it. He literally interviewed anybody who slowly remembers the transition of how it started from the 70s in New York and Chicago. Who was the first person to, like, for real, write a lyric that was considered a rap? He went to when it was just beats and no raps. He went to mixtapes. I mean, man, he killed it. And he brought it all the way up to, where we're at right now. Not right now, probably up to about a year or two ago. So you should check that out.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. I think you did tell me about that before, but
I remember I told Marcos Caballo, shout out to the homie, about that. And the reason I was telling him about that, because we were talking about rappers who were supposed to be gangster rappers from our time who had got exposed for fake it to make it. You were never really what you said you were, And there's a lot of argument there, by the way. And I don't want to hurt a bunch of Tupac fans, but, there's a lot of argument there. But nonetheless, I had mentioned that one of the duos that caught me by surprise was UGK, Bun B and Pimp C. And I'm not saying they're fake, and who am I to say anybody's? It's not that. But on Hip Hop Evolution, the series, when you heard the interviews and you saw what Bun B was saying, because, rest in peace, Pimp C passed away, he was talking like, we didn't do none of that shit that we rap about. We just saw it all.
Right.
But we were never pimps. We were never gangsters. We were never none of that. But we saw it all. We had a friend, an uncle, down the street neighbor who did the gangster stuff, who did the pimp stuff, who did the drug dealing. We didn't do that. Eventually, when we got close, we found out a little bit of it. We might have dip-dabbled with something, but never know real what they're talking about on their music. And, man, that shit blew me away, And it's like, I mean, do real gangsters, do real drug dealers, do real, mafioso guys, do they have skills to rap? Or the ones who do the raps are, a little bit more intelligent on the side and they put more, effort into their craft? I
think for the most part, I don't know. I mean, I don't think that a lot of them have actually done what they say they do. Maybe they have writers and stuff like that too that write their stuff. I know Lil Wayne is one who, like, he freestyles, like he comes like with it right there.
Right.
But I don't know. Off the top of my head, maybe like Snoop Dogg. I know like Snoop and Dre and stuff like that used to be like.
Speaking of Snoop and Dre,
gangsters.
What'd you think about the?
I
Super
loved
Bowl?
it.
Yeah,
I loved it. I was dancing in the living room.
Have you seen
my
the memes?
Like,
have you seen the memes?
Yes.
They say 80s babies during the Super Bowl, and you see all people like us just dancing when that shit came out.
That was me. Everybody was like, "What are you doing?" My daughter was like, "Mom, stop!" And I'm like, "It is what it is."
She felt embarrassed that you were dancing?
She's like, "Mom."
What were you doing? Were you trying to do like a little crip walk? What were you doing?
I can't do the crip walk, but
I feel like sometimes I feel like I almost nailed it, even though I'm not trying to, but it's not the actual crip walk. People got beef with that shit. Can't do that in the wrong place. Here in Miami, we can get away with it.
Yeah.
But did you watch Super Bowl?
I did. Well, parts of it. I was kind of in and out of it. I didn't really, I don't know. I wasn't really feeling it. I did want to see the halftime show, so I watched like right there at the end, going into the halftime. And
why weren't you feeling it? Are you not a football fan? Do you not follow it with that many details?
I mean, not with that many details. It wasn't anybody that I was interested in watching. So
because of the teams?
Yeah. I was just like, I'm good.
Girls are going to hate me for saying this, but you sound like a typical female. But at least you're willing to entertain it and watch it, even if you don't, not that following of the group or the players or whatever. I think that's still immense, So girls, jot down notes. Even if you don't know what the fuck's going on, be willing to be part of the event and enjoy it and try to learn a little bit of it.
Absolutely.
So that your man feels, certain way about your efforts.
It was fun. I mean, it was fun watching what I watched, but I was really there for the drinks and the food. So
was this at your crib or somewhere else?
It was my house.
You guys like to host, man. I love that.
We do.
It reminds me of when we were a family, when we were younger. Yeah. We always hosted things. You're probably the one, friend that I have that hosts so many things. Halloween parties, events. The Halloween party that was great last year.
Yeah, we do it all. I mean, any little reason to get together, I remember.
Fuck. I was doing good. I was pacing myself. Everything's great. Then your homeboy pulled out a goddamn big-ass blunt. And I'm like, sure, I can't say no to fucking weed. That shit crossfaded me. And before I knew it, I just remember I sat down. Things were spinning. And I was like, okay, this is going to get worse like in 30, 40 minutes unless I totally eat something. Yeah. And I remember I went to the food stand that you had. And I'm like, damn, dude, this is all little finger food. And if I'm going to make one plate, but that's not going to be enough because I'm feeling the spinners. And so after that, I waited. It wasn't getting better. I'm like, let me just, what's it called? The Irish getaway? No, an Irish exit.
Yeah.
Something like that. When you don't tell anybody you're leaving and you just haul ass.
No, and I told you we had pasta and you didn't see it. We had the finger foods on the table and then we had like a whole thing of pasta lined up like on the kitchen counter.
I definitely
because we knew people were going to be like, they were going to get hungry after they had a few drinks.
Yeah, of course.
And the weed and stuff. So yeah, 1 minute you were there and then you were gone. I was like, where is Wes? And you were gone.
Unfortunately, I've done that too many times. Yeah. I got to admit it. I guess I became infamous for that. I really don't plan on doing it. It's not something like, man, fuck everybody. No, I want to hug everybody. I want to say, yo, I love you. See you next time. Thank you. It's just, when I sense, oh shit, this is not a good scenario.
Yeah.
But I have enough sense in me to get out of here now before it gets worse. Don't let somebody try to talk me into this and, hey, Wes, do this. Hey, take your time. No, I know my body. This is going to kick in a little bit, worse. So let me make a wise, I guess, maybe not the wisest move, but in my opinion, maybe make a wise move and get out of here while I got a chance. And then that's,
No, but that happens to me. I actually sneak out a lot if I meet up with friends and stuff like that. I think you're the only one I haven't snuck out. I haven't left you yet because it's usually just us or something.
Right.
But I usually do the same thing. I'm like, I gotta go. Like, and if you stay and you say, hey, I'm leaving, they're gonna be like, no, don't leave. Take another, And it's just, I'm not one to succumb to peer pressure, but I'm just like, I gotta go. I don't have time for that. I want to leave. I want to go home.
Yesterday when we were all chilling for the art festival, I remember I was telling my client this morning, I'm like, damn, like I'm good. I'm awake. There's no hangover, none of that, no depletion. But I said, man, I went to the art festival and I hung out with my friends. And it's funny because we talked about it at the art festival. I'm like, I typically don't drink this much or that much. I'm a wine drinker or beers, but I'm always under control, always have a limit. I barely this, I barely that, as much as I love whiskey. Well, he was telling me at the time, my homeboy Paul, he was like, see, that's my problem. I don't drink that much, but when I do, I go all in, and I'm suffering for 2 days. I said, see, I can't allow 2 days of suffering.
Right.
I can't even allow 1 day. If I fuck up a whole day of being productive or doing something right, good, because of drinking, that don't fly right with me. And sure enough, it almost happened because I was yesterday. I just felt that my body was letting me know you drank whiskey 2 days in a row and we never do this.
Yeah.
So, it was feeling it, but it wasn't hungover.
Yeah. I feel that though, because I kind of did the same thing Saturday. So I went, I hung out, I got home way too late. And then I slept for like 3 hours, had a few things to do in the morning. And I was like, oh my God, I can't, like, I can't do it anymore. Like all that real hard partying.
Was this a date or just hanging out with friends?
No, it was just hanging out.
How's that dating life treating you?
Oh.
You were just talking about Mr. Negatives. So what's up with this clown? What was it that happened?
So no, I met this guy, whatever, super cool, whatever. We vibed pretty much immediately. But he's just super negative. Like, just even how he talks, it's just, I don't even know how to deal with that because I'm just a very positive person. I have my moments and stuff, but you would never know. Like, I'll always be like, hey, I'm just so positive. It's just, might be annoying, but whatever it is, that's just how I am.
Is this somebody you 1 day, 2 days, a couple months?
No. It's just, we met probably.
I put that there for you.
Yeah. We met like 2-3 weeks ago. Well, no, we met before we started hanging out like 2 or 3 weeks ago. Super, like I said, super cool when we hung out, like very, we vibed. Like it was kind of like he came out of that funk when we would hang out. But then we would talk on the phone sometimes and he just so negative. Just even the way he talks, I can't even explain it. Just, oh man,
always a complaint, always something.
Just so
it's not like he's saying he's not saying the world's gonna end, but it's like there's always something there nagging.
It's always something, just it has to be something wrong with him or just, and just even the way he talks. So today I was kind of like, man, I think he's cool, whatever, and if it wasn't for that, I might actually like be able to keep this going, but it's just too negative for me. So
I wonder if that's a veteran move from you because you're old enough and experienced enough where you can see that this would not be a good fit if you were to entertain something more, right? Or is this more so you're just so not that type of person and you rather not have that around you? Because there's people who can be like, okay, I'm not that type of person, but you know what? I can work with him. I'll fix him. I'll show him happiness. I'll show him joy. You know, maybe he got dealt a bad hand, something like that. I'm not saying that these people become Captain Save them, even though some are.
Yeah.
But is it more like you're just like, is that turning you off? We're like, nah, I can't deal with this. Or I know that maybe it's both. Maybe you've been up this road and you know this guy, you're not going to change him. What is he? Is he around your age?
Yeah.
So that's a hard change,
years
right
younger
there.
than me, like 2 years younger than me.
You keep going younger, girl. You keep going younger.
Yeah.
My homegirl, shout out to my homegirl, Allie. She had just posted this meme. Oh, I was fucking dying. She's a good looking girl. I think right now she's about 40 or 38, maybe your age. I think she's right there. And she said, it says something like, I'm gonna murder it, but it was something in the neighborhood of telling this young man, boy, stop. I'm at that perfect age where I can date your father or you.
Yeah,
and
you or your dad.
Yeah, you or your dad. And it's true. You got. I mean, men hit that. Men, if you have the right look, the right swag, and you're in a certain situation where you're not with somebody. Yeah, there's a certain middle range where you can do that.
Yeah.
And I think you're there because you're doing it.
And I think I've told you before, like I've always been attracted to older men. I was never attracted to young men. I was just.
But in the last few months, when we've hung out, you've had a couple youngins.
It's been the last few months. It's kind of like, I'm like, well, it's not too bad. You know what I'm saying? Actually, a funny story. I had a customer come in, and he's a member of, the
organization.
And he's an older gentleman, and he was telling me, he's like, man, you're super cool. If I was younger, this and that, whatever. We were just get it. We were talking about everything, just everything. We hit all the subjects. He was the only one there. He came in early, so I was like, I'm gonna open for you. I'm gonna serve you. So we're there talking. I even made him like a lunch and everything. Like we were chilling. And he was like, you know what? He says, this is the best advice that you'll ever hear. He's like, when it comes to relationships or when it comes to, he's like, you can either be a young man's toy or an old man's joy.
Wow.
And I was like, you know what? It was just, I don't know. It kind of made sense.
Of course it does.
I was like, wow, this is
kind of immediately tests your moral standings. Like, would you overlook this in order for that, or would you prefer this over that? I mean, we all hit these crossroads depending, and everybody varies depending on what they went through in their life. If you've been through a certain grinder and you're just up to here with the fucking bullshit, you're probably wanting to entertain either a lot more or a lot less. You might be wanting to lower the bar a lot lower, or your shit is way high and you're picky. It can go either way based upon what you've been through. Your upbringing, everything. If you've always wanted a knight in shining armor, and I'm such a believer in true love, and I am, by the way. I'm actually more on the love side. I do believe all this lovey-dove stuff, as cold as I come off sometimes, but all that plays a big role in what are you going to do when you're when you're dealing with certain these situations. Again, to the guy who's negative, By the way, so you mentioned working at this place. I want people to know what you do, because I think there's such a big difference about where you bartend at because of the people that you work with and just the amount of stories and the camaraderie that you see and the things that these people, they literally attach to you and you attach to them. Yeah. Tell people listening where you work at.
So I work at the VFW. It's Veterans of Foreign Wars, Post 4127. It is in Homestead. But this is a big organization. They're everywhere. They're all over the world. They have other bars,
right? The same thing.
They're canteens. Well, it's a post, so it's a nonprofit organization. The canteens are what they pay the bills. The canteen pays the bills, but it's also a place. It's such a nice place because you get a lot of veterans. You get older veterans, young veterans, people that are just patriotic.
Right.
And they want to come in and just, have a drink and be around people that are like-minded or have been through similar situations. And it really, you build a lot of friendships and relationships there.
So if I can paint a picture for people listening or watching, I'm definitely not talking down on it. Hell no. But in regards to the look, okay, the interior design, the layouts, it literally looks like just a rinky-dink ass old school
Right.
bar. Not very small. Actually, it's the bar itself is small,
Right.
but there's extra room where you have the pool tables and the extraordinary stuff, and then you have the tables on the side. Whoa, hit that camera. Is that still good? Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay. But like you said, it still attracts so many people. And I remember when I went there, you know, every time I went there, it's just great how much it's like a Cheers. Remember the show Cheers?
Yeah,
See, I'm using that reference, and if somebody's under 30, they might not know. They're not gonna know what that is. That was an amazing show, and my parents put me up on that show too. But it's like Cheers, except smaller, and everybody has a great story, and they have this respect for life, you know, because of what they've been through and things of that nature. So when you go there, it's just a different everything, energy, aura, conversations.
Yeah.
You're not talking dumb shit. It's not a bunch of young people. I met your friends, some of your friends there. Remember that couple? And they were young. They're in their mid-30s. But yet they like to go there because they know they're surrounded by just cool-ass people. Even if some of them are a little lunatic, you know?
Yeah, no, it's a nice place. I mean, you really meet a lot of different people. I've developed some really, like, good relationships with people that are you know, that come in there regularly. You know, we've lost people. We've seen people just come through, you know, because they've been to other VFWs in, you know, in the state or in the country or wherever, and they want to stop in and be like, hey, you know, I'm from this post, or, you know, I'm passing through, I'm going to Key West, you know, we wanted to stop in and say hello. But I mean, the people are great. The people are great.
Would you say they appreciate life a lot more in the shows, or do you think they just feel a lot more comfortable because they're surrounded by like-so people?
I think that's what it is. They just feel more comfortable because they're, you know.
Veterans just vibe better.
And you know what? I
veterans.
do meet some that are they do appreciate life more. They're just very, you know, they love life and they just want to live it, and they enjoy coming and having drinks, you know. So, but it's a nice place. You know, we get our older veterans, and then we get our younger veterans, and we get a lot of people who support the post and support the veterans. So they come in and, you know, they have drinks. We don't just drink there. We do have other events and stuff like that. You know, award ceremonies for different veterans of different wars, and, you know, it's a nice thing.
We had discussed one of my favorite people who I've never even met yet, and I want to talk about him. You know, briefly. You know, you have this. I'm sure. I mean, you got a lot of, you know, old motherfuckers over there. Let's just make that clear. But you have this guy nicknamed Frenchie, who's a World War II veteran who just had his 97th birthday a couple days ago. And he's literally like, I don't know, the hero that everybody praises and loves and talks about and has so many, you know, great things, you know, to say about. And I'm infatuated with the guy because I just would love to talk to him. I would love to have him on the podcast, you know, and I know we talked about that. And, you know, who knows? Hopefully we can make something happen. But I just, you know, I would never want him or any veteran, whoever comes on here, to think that I want to pick your brain about the war and what you saw, because I know how tough that is. And I know that, you know, PTSD is forever. No matter how good life might be, you'll never forget those things, because I never forget the shit that I experienced in prison. I never forget certain things that happened growing up in the ghetto. So I can only imagine, and I can't even compare myself to going through what they're talking about. So, but man, just to see so many eras go by, presidents go by, racism, full-blown slavery go by, and so on and so forth. You're without a doubt in one of the smallest groups that exists in this world, and to me, that's as official of a black sheep as you could be. And I would just love to talk to that man and just pick away at his brain and have some fun, you know. What's up, everybody? Just want to take a quick second to tell you guys thank you so much for all the love and support. We are officially into season 4 of the podcast, and I have an array of brand new guests that you guys are going to love. For now, enjoy the rest of the show. I don't think, and they're not supposed to, it's not anybody's responsibility unless you really want to try your best to have a great understanding of what somebody might have gone through, you know, but to bullets flying, bodies this, government that, families at home, you don't know if you're next. You don't know if you're going to make it. You know, I mean, just there's so many things to throw out there, and that's just the war part.
Yeah.
And they're probably all super young, went over there with all, I don't know, whether it's false hopes, dreams. Maybe they were going through a rough time. They thought this was the only answer. Maybe they were drafted and they had no fucking choice. Like, that doesn't exist right now.
No.
So to put yourself in that place is already enough. It's already difficult enough. Now, start thinking about everything else of how you feel when you get back. The whole PTSD part, that secondary life of you don't know unless you've been through it. Once you've seen, if you saw a gator attack, if you ever got stabbed, if you almost died in a car accident, if you got severely injured, but you took you a year to learn how to walk, unless somebody went through those same near whatever comparison situations, they will never understand, the difficulties behind the readjustment after a traumatic situation. And that can be anything traumatic: molestation, rape, death, whatever, gangster fight. It doesn't matter. So these guys are literally just at the highest point of what they went through, why they chose to, what happened. Now readjusting to life and how difficult that is, and then seeing our life go through so many different eras. Because if they're old enough, if they're in their 80s or better, and they went to war, holy fuck, man. These guys can tell you all kinds of things that no one would ever understand. And I just feel like they're just a rare gem. They really are. They're just a rare gem. They're hate to say this, they're the last of a dying breed. There's just no denying that. They're the last of a dying breed, and they're very special. And when I think about them, I guess just because of the, things that I've been through, and I'm just like, man, no one would ever know because of what I've been through unless you went through just that similar, and that can be applied to anybody, again, who goes through anything. I just connect really deep with them, though I've never been through what they've been through.
Right.
And I just feel like, most people don't do that, and they should.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel the same way. When I started there, I actually just went in with a friend of mine. He used to go there all the time. So we went in a group. He was like, hey, come to the spot with me. I was like, all right, cool. So this was like 10, 11 years ago, something like that. And it was a smoking place still at the time. So you walk in and there's a fog of smoke. You can't even see across the bar because there's so much smoke. But yeah, I went in that day and I mean, I met a few people and they were just, I had always had a passion to volunteer and help veterans and all that stuff. But it was different when I actually sat there and talked to people.
Right.
So I started volunteering, and then, they were like, hey, do you want to bartend? The one who was in charge at the time, he was like, you want to bartend? And I was like, oh, I can't. At the time, I couldn't, my dad was a minister, and I was trying to, behave and be good, and not make him, look bad.
Right.
So I was like, no. So I turned him down maybe for like a year. And then he was like, I just volunteered. I cooked, I cleaned. I came in and helped with events and stuff like that. I did whatever I could. And then finally I started bartending. I was like, all right, cool. I'll bartend. I'll bartend now, So ever since I just, it's been like, my secondary thing or, just a thing here and there. But I still have such a passion for it and for the people. And, they're just, there's a lot of amazing people that come through there and are there on a regular basis. Do
they, I mean, I'm not going to say that you pry for it, but do they open up to you about certain things, or it just depends?
I mean, it would depend on the person and the moment. I've had a few people, but it's not something, I think that's one thing that, we really won't see.
It's not too common for them to do that.
In all the years I've been there, I've maybe happened like 2 or 3 times.
Really? Mm-hmm. And have you ever seen one go too deep, like where it really brought them back and maybe they got emotional and stuff?
Yeah, one they did cry. He cried a little bit. He was like, I was drafted and I was a kid. He was like, I was 17 years old. I was a kid and I'm killing people from one minute to the next. I'm out here killing people, and he cried.
Jesus, man.
And then he did, and then he was like, and I don't want to talk about it anymore. And he
cut it off. I just think about that, and I'm like, my God. Yeah. There's just no way it's just too hard to really picture that you're just, I don't care what kind of kid you are, you just happen to be 17 and you got drafted because our government, our country decided to do some stupid ass shit and pick a fight for the wrong reasons and the wrong people. And then here you are, damn. And then you go through what? 3 months of basic training, you never held a gun before in your life, never been, and just gets thrown right to the wolves.
And that's what he said. He was like, man, you know, 1 minute I'm a kid. He's like, I'm just a kid. He was like, I was just a kid, and you know, I got drafted, and then all of a sudden I'm killing people, you know, and killing a lot of people. And he was like, and it was just not. So he got emotional. He cried, and then he was like, I don't want to talk about it anymore. And that was it. End of conversation.
I'll tell you what, you know, I want to give a shout out to a good friend of mine, Nick. Nick was on. Nick, I'm not going to try to say your last name because you'll be mad at me, but he was on the podcast, I think in season 1, and just to spare the details, you know, we did lunch before we had the podcast. He's a veteran, you know, and he witnessed, let's just say, a substantial amount of what he went through and whatnot. Lost some soldiers and lost somebody very close to him. And when we talked about it at lunch, he opened up pretty deeply. So I thought. But then he also told me, you know, hey, when we do this, I'm great to talk about this, and that, and that, and that. Just do me a favor, don't dig into this. You know, let's leave that because I'm probably, okay, hey, man, whatever you want, cool. And we did the podcast maybe a week later, and he opened up more than he did at lunch. Yeah. And he'd even expected himself. And he even said it live on the podcast. You know what? I didn't expect this to come out, right, but I'll just go ahead and admit this. And boom, and he started, you know, spitting some shit that what he went through and what really took him to the depths of this in order to make him think that, which eventually made him like say, hey, I need to go to the fucking army or I'm going to be a fucked up kid. And anyhow, so great podcast, one of my favorites. It was like almost every time I saw him after that at the gym, it was this big, immense fucking hug of just like, and he literally said it like, I don't know, 2 or 3 times. You have no idea how good that was for me. Like, I needed that, and I didn't know I needed it. Yeah. I did not know that I needed to spill beans like that, not only to you during lunch, but even more on the podcast. And I'm like, Nick, everybody loves the podcast, and they just can't stop talking about how awesome you are and what a great story. And he was like, Wes, I owe you. I was like, you don't owe me shit, you know? But once again, that podcast let me know that, it reminded me that some people really want to, you know, just get things off their chest, no matter what it is. And that's why it's you can recommend something to somebody before you jump to conclusions and cut them off and want to give your opinion. Let somebody, you know, spill a little bit out on you if you think they're reaching for it, because they might really need it.
It's true, absolutely. And then, I mean, sometimes people just need a vent. You know, they need to get things, like you said, off their chest, and it does happen. It happens.
Yeah, I mean, well, I get it. You know, it's hard to pick and choose your battles because you got some people who just want to fucking talk. Yeah, and they just going back to your dates, you know, he sounds like a very pessimistic, very, you know, Debbie Downer, you know, always pouting, like, oh, what a turnoff. Like, I could not stand somebody who was talking like, not even as a friend. Right. So, yeah, it's hard to pick and choose. Okay, well, is he being a pussy? Yeah. Or should I give this guy a fucking ear because, you know, he's trying to really, really get something off his chest? And, you know, that comes with wisdom. And
I mean, I think too, it's like, well, for our situation, it was like, when it was good, it was good. Like, it was super cool hanging out. And like, when he was like happy and, you know, all that good stuff, it was nice, you know, it was fun. But then, I mean, later on when the negative stuff came out, I'm just like, oh my gosh, like I can't, you know, I'm just not that way. I'm like, I can't do this. It's going to drive me crazy. And it just kind of feels like I'm coddling him. Like if it was, I don't know, like if it was a child of mine and I'm like, Lordy, you know, it's okay. You know, I don't think that I should have to do that, and I'm not deep enough in it to right, of course, want to do that. This is all, you know, premature. I'm like, this is crazy. Like we hung out like twice. Because imagine if you get closer and love bugs and all that starts biting, and now he's just gonna want to fucking you know wake up in the morning with, this is what happened to me last night at work, babe. And I'm absolutely one of those people who I want to be there for people, and that's where I have to kind of I get too involved and I not too involved, but I just feel like I want to be there for them. And I think that I have to kind of, I've been trying to just kind of be like, hey, you know, I can't do this for everybody. I can do it for, you know, some people, but there comes a point where it's like, that's it. I can't do this. You know, you're draining me. You know, you only have so much. I remember, I think I posted something on Instagram about a year or so ago. And you know, somebody posted it prior to me, but it was basically some dude was talking about, hey, imagine, because apparently energy can't be made or destroyed, right? Mm-hmm. So what's created is, and that's that. So imagine units of energy were like, you know, units of energy were like dollars, cents.
And you now know through science and technology and whatever, Nyssa, you have 100,000 units of energy left. Once you finish, you now start, let's just say decomposing. You're dying now, okay? You're going to start dying from this point out, all right? It's a good way of saying it. And that's not how he said it. He said it way better. Again, I'm murdering this. But he said you would definitely, without a doubt, especially if you realize that every time you entertain a conversation with someone, anytime you allow somebody to spill their whole, vent and shit like that, you're using this amount of energy left. Right. So if you knew, it's official, there's no denying it, I have a tank left of this amount of units of energy. Mm-hmm. If you knew that, you would change the way you live life, right, who you entertain, what you're willing to do. You would change it. Then those who want it are just going against the system because they don't believe in it. But otherwise, you would change the way you live because you're like, dude, I only got so many fucking units. I don't want to hear your bullshit about your fucking ex-bitch who you already broke up with 4 times, and here you are back with her. Nah, I'm not going to waste my time. Sorry, think what you want.
Yeah. And I think we talked about this not that long ago. I was telling you that I don't know, we were talking about just our social media and different things like that, and I was saying, I kind of went through my stuff, and I just took people off, and I've been, like cutting people off and just kind of going into my own, right. Because I don't want to share my energy with everybody. Right. So I kind of think like I reached that point and I was like, I can't just, so that's kind of the situation with him. I don't want to, I mean, I'm there for him, as a person. And if you ever need anything, but as far as spending time and just letting him drain me of that energy, I absolutely refuse to do that. In the name
of, people out there, especially the fellas, I want to find out how you handle this situation. Even if the homie is fucking watching this podcast right now, bro, I appreciate all the support. Forget about what she says. I appreciate the support. Lord. If homie's watching right now, try to disregard that. Mm-hmm. How did you handle that? I had a conversation with my brother Danny and my best friend Chris about ghosting. Mm-hmm. It's funny that we're talking about this because, that ghosting is a new term that popped up about, a couple years ago, this, that, I don't know. Anyhow, and my brother at the time, he was like, I can't lie, I do it, bro, but I'm not doing it like on purpose, mm-hmm. To be a dick. But do I do it? Yeah, because I think you just reach a certain point where it's like, listen, it makes no sense that I have to call you or text you to tell you what we both know we feel. And, I got his point. It was a little, it was a good little dirty defense. I get it. Still not the best approach, in my opinion. But anyhow, me and Chris thought differently, and we were talking about it. So I want to put you on the spot. How you handling it? Because you only went on a few dates. You figured this out, or so you think. I know there's probably, who knows how many people listening who are going to be like, bitch, you jumping the gun. Like, what the fuck? Maybe a homie's going through something. But then you got people who are going to be like, great call. Hell yeah. Don't wait for another date. Regardless, you're pulling away. How'd you handle it? Did you handle it, or have you not handled it yet?
So I haven't.
Is he going to hear this? Is he going to hear this, and this is the breakup?
No, I haven't handled it yet, and it's not even that. It's just like, and like I said, I'm just one of those people that I want to be there for everybody, and I want to make sure that everybody's okay and stuff like that. But right, and I'm trying not to do that. I don't wanna get, and I feel like I'm sounding selfish because I'm like but there comes a point where you have to just be like, look, I need to do what's best for myself, and not only that, but I take. My biggest thing recently, like I told you, I've been trying to work on the whole who I give my energy to and who I'm, So what it is if I feel a certain way, I'm gonna take that home, and my child is gonna feel that way. And I want peace, and I want all those things. I want good vibes, and I want to transmit that to her. So I feel like it's important, if I spend some time with somebody, I feel like it's important that they have a good energy and they have good vibes, and I'm not, just like, they're not draining me of mine, and then I go home and I'm drained, and then what do I give my daughter?
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense.
No, of course it does. 1,000%. Right. I would catch that before you get to that daughter point. I'm just gonna say, Alyssa, I love you, by the way, girl. You're awesome. Alyssa's her daughter. She's an amazing girl. If Alyssa wasn't in the picture. Mm-hmm. it still needs to be the same response, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Fuck, you don't need to have a kid to be like, hey, I don't want to bring that. No, motherfucker, I don't want to. Your energy is not cool. You always complaining now. Yeah. How you deliver that message is different. You still dodging, though.
Yeah.
Because you haven't addressed it.
But
you know the decision's made.
Right, but it was something that I came to today. Like I told you, because like
exclusive.
We were talking, you know, and I was like, man, you know, and I like I said, you know, I understand people go through things, and I want to be there for you. Right. But at the same time, it's like I can't be there for everybody, and I can't just let anybody just drain me, you know. And it's also for myself. But today I was like, I can't do this. I was like, I can't do this. You know, there's nothing about this that I can do. And it wasn't anything serious. It's just, you know, we hung out a couple times, twice. We saw each other here and there, you know, just bumped into each other. You know, and I can't do it. So I was kind of like, hey, you know, I gotta go. I'll call you back. You know, I sent a little text message, but that was it. That's where it left off.
One of the reasons that you and I's friendship has gotten so, you know, so strong and we vibe so much is because we can't find anybody. And we've been talking about this for a while, and I love you to death because, you know, you've opened up to me so much in the last, well, we've known each other only about a year, if we hit that, right?
About a year and change.
Yeah, and I remember
a year and a month.
I remember you posted something that I damn near almost teared up, where you tagged me. You tagged me, and there was somebody who said, tag somebody who changed your life or something like that, or this year was
this year made your life better. Or something
yeah,
like
there
that.
you go, there you go, right? Boom, and you tagged me. And that really touched me, you know, because I felt the same way. I felt like, you know, having you in my life was always something better. I love that I have positive people in my life. So anyhow, but one of the reasons that we share all this positivity is because we can't find nobody. Okay. Now you tend to entertain a lot more than I do, and that's my fault. That's not yours. That's my fault. I don't make myself available enough in regards to going out, mingling, whatever. I'm not gonna say that I'm more picky than you are because I know you're picky, but no, you just literally you're a girl. Excuse to be so vulgar, but a girl can get dick or attention anytime she wants, and I don't care how you look, anything you could, but a guy can't. That's a different ballgame. So I'm just at a point in my life where I don't give enough opportunity. So I understand that, but nonetheless. We don't have a good track record.
No.
we don't. But, man, you put great efforts, and you're always telling me about these guys, you know. I love that you holler at me, you tell me what's going on.
Yeah.
I don't think there was anyone that where I would be like, all right, Nyssa, you're being a little too this, you know. No, I've been on your side for almost all of them. I think there was one you had dare I say, the white boy, right? That was the one? No. I feel like the vibe was good there, but then he fucked up. I don't know.
No, it's just, I mean, I don't know what it is. It's just, I mean, we like you said, we've talked about this a lot, and it's just, I mean, we have, I'm not the type of person to close off. Like, I feel like, so yeah, I went through my stuff or whatever, and I've had, you know, my little 3 relationships that I've ever had in my whole life, like serious things. And I feel like, for me, I needed a lot of time to heal from those. So I took the time, and I felt like I was healed, and I was like, all right, cool, I'm going to put myself out there again. So that's kind of like what I've been going through the past few months. And I told you, I was like, all right, I got on Tinder and I got on Bumble, and which I don't think was the best thing to do because I don't know. I felt like it was so repetitive. Every time I started talking to somebody, I had to just be like, same thing. What's your favorite color? What do you do? Right. You know, those easy, stupid, like small talk things. And
Are they still asking what's your favorite color?
Yeah, they are. Somebody asked me that not that long ago. I'm like,
oh, shit.
I was like, how old are we? Like, I don't care.
I would never ask that again. God damn. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it's just, I finally was like, all right, I'm healed enough from this last thing that I went through. And I want to put myself out there. My daughter's getting older. I don't want to be alone, you know? So that's what I've done.
Plus, shout out to her. She tells you, right? Didn't she tell you, like, date? Or
yeah,
you know,
not that long ago. I was home, and I was like, you know, I like to be home. I'm a homebody.
Right.
For the most part, unless I'm working. And I'm always either working or I'm home or, you know, just trying to find something else to, you know, another side thing to do, whatever. So I'm home, and she's like, hey, Mom, you know, what are you doing? You doing anything tonight? And I was like, no. It was like a random Friday night, Saturday night. And then I'm like, no, I'm just gonna chill at home. I'm gonna watch a couple movies. You know, it was just me and her. And she was like, well, why don't you go out? You're not dating anybody? And I was like, no, I'm not. And it's just, these questions came out of nowhere. I was like, no, I'm not dating anybody. And she's like, well, why aren't you dating? And I was like, I just, you know, it's not something that I want to do right now. I just, you know, haven't really got on that thing. Actually, that is where I kind of started. You know, I was like, my daughter is telling me, so I should. You know?
I'm trying to put myself in your shoes. Not awkward, not weird, but what a different scenario. Like very like, oh shit, where your daughter is
absolutely,
you know, like,
and that's why
genuinely asking you this. You
and
know,
that's why I freaked out, because I mean we're very close. You know, we tell each other everything. You know, we're just super. You know, and she, you know, I tell her things. I tell her to a limit. You know, she's my daughter. I keep it, you know, short and sweet. But you know, she sees that I'm home a lot alone, or I'm working all the time and stuff like that, and we have that kind of relationship where she notices everything. If I'm you know, down in the dumps, or I'm just like I'm stressed out,
she knows every level of your energy,
exactly, all that. And we're on the same page. I feel the same way with her.
It's awesome, but that's a bond. That's good.
Yeah. So she was like, you know, I was kind of bored. Like I didn't say it, but I was there hanging out, and I'm watching scary movies, you know, drinking a glass of wine by myself. And she was like, Mom, what's up? You know, like, what are you doing? You're not going anywhere? And I'm like, no. So that actually was a point where I was like, all right, I need to, you know, I should probably start dating.
No, watch how I mess up the little chances I might have with anybody listening. That's another reason why I don't need no damn kids. I don't need to be questioned about what the fuck I'm deciding with my life, all right? You let this motherfucker be who he is.
Damn.
I know, I just lost, right? I just unfollow, swipe left, whatever the hell it is. No, that's very touching because, you know, it shows a lot of maturity on her behalf.
Right.
It also shows, you know, how strong you guys' bond is, that she can detect these things, you know, and feel these things the same way you could about her. I mean, goddamn, you guys are mother and daughter, and you've been a single parent for quite a while.
Right.
So that connection is ridiculous. There's no separating. You know, your eyebrow just leans the wrong way, and she just knows.
There's nothing I can do. Sometimes I try to hide it, and she's just like, she's super intuitive when it comes to me. So that's what it is.
So would you be totally okay? This is a tough one. Would you be totally okay with her watching this whole podcast?
You know,
and I'm not saying you should. I'm just asking, and don't fake it.
I mean, as of now, I would. I think I would.
Depending on how it finishes,
No. I think I would anyway, even if it took a different turn, this whole conversation. Okay. I think I would still be comfortable because I just think that it's important for me to be open with her.
I agree, yes.
I don't know. Well, let me take. It is important for me to be open with her, and I think, you know, this is the world that we live in.
Yeah.
I mean, it's reality. I used to be very, like, I grew up sheltered. My dad was a minister. I started going to church when we were 8 years. I was 8 years old. He became, you know, he got into church. You know, it was a super strict, very religious thing. And I grew up super sheltered. I mean, I still knew things, but
of course
I was just a well-behaved teenager and kid.
No one would think that with all the tattoos you have.
Now it's different. But
if you guys only listening, watch it on video so you can see how my homegirl's so tatted. And she wore the shirt, she's even more tatted.
Yeah. I just, you know, I
go ahead. I love it. Go ahead.
So yeah, I mean, I grew up in a way where it was like everything was so, oh my God, you can't do that and you can't do this, you know? And I don't want to do that to her. I want her to be herself. I don't want her to have to hold back. So I feel like I held back a lot as a kid. So I think that it's important to be open with her. So as she's gotten older, she's going to be 16. As she's gotten older, I've gotten more open with her, and I've told her, you know, I tell her like real things, like the way that the world really is, because I'm mom and dad. You know, I think it's important for her to not be naive, you know, especially in the world that we live in today. So, I mean, I think I would be comfortable. However this, you know, conversation went, I think I would be comfortable with her.
We still got about at least another 45 minutes to an hour. We'll touch back on this before we close it out.
Okay, we'll talk later.
Because, you know, there's a couple of things I would love to talk to you about that we always have fun talking about. Right. But to piggyback what you're talking about, Demaya, my niece, you know, you know how much I adore that girl. She means the absolute world to me. And it's easy to say that, yeah, I don't have a kid. So she's like the closest thing to it. And she is almost like my kid. You know, no, she's got an amazing set of parents between her dad and her mom. And the best grandma in the world, my mom. But she's got the best uncle in the world. And our relationship is just bonkers how close we are, you know. And I talk to her full-blown adults on 99.9% levels. But that little 1%, as outspoken as I am, I have not told her that I smoke weed. Okay. And I haven't. And would I be willing to talk to her about it? Sure. I was kind of just waiting for like the right organic situation, you know, to unfold and then go from there. But then I started thinking, well, maybe I need to like help it manifest, like, you know, choose, because I know she's 14. I know she already know. I mean, she's been raised by all of, when I say all of us, obviously I'm her uncle and she's got another uncle, my brother, but, you know, we got such a tight-knit group of friends who are just, you know, there's 4 or 5 brothers in the group and one auntie in the group, you know, 2 aunties in the group. Demaya has had like about a combination of 5 or 6 uncles and 2 or 3 aunts, and we're all shit talking, drinking, having fun, physical, stay fit, this and that. But we call each other, like, she's been raised by all this. So she's a tough chick, you know, and I love it. And I know she's, you know, you don't want to fast forward an innocent young child, but then you also got to know when is when, so that somebody doesn't pick them, you know, so somebody doesn't actually, how would you say?
So they don't do it before you do, basically.
When they're vulnerable. What's up, everybody? Just want to take a quick second to tell you guys thank you so much for all the love and support. We are officially into season 4 of the podcast, and I have an array of brand new guests that you guys are going to love. For now, enjoy the rest of the show. So as much as I love my baby girl, you know, and I don't even know when or even if she'll see this podcast. She will, because it's probably the first time I talk about her in this depth, you know. But I don't know when she'll be ready to see this. And I can't, bro, I'm saying that loosely, like it's just an uncle who loves her niece, and just this girl is so fast forward, and I think she's ready for everything. But we're so close that I have this weird feeling of like, damn, I just hope that once I tell her, hey man, I smoke weed. So if you ever smell it on me, or you see my eyes this way, or you want whatever, or, you know, but I want to have that conversation where it's like, I love you so much. You mean so much to me. And I want you to understand the importance of transparency. I want you to understand just the impact about being honest all the time. And that one little, whatever, 5% of times when you hold back from being honest, that's a very small window that should almost never be done. But yes, it happens. But minus that, it's always good to be honest. And I want to have that conversation because I know that we have that relationship. Because she knows how I speak. I don't hold back on anything, profanity, this, that, whatever. Yes, I approach certain topics certain ways. I'm not a loose cannon, but on this one, it's like a weird one because, you know, I'm such an advocate of smoking. You know, it's just I don't want to say I live and die by it, but you're damn near. I haven't died by it yet, but I would not want to. I don't know that based upon where she's at in her level of maturity, her age, her developmental phase, whether or not she would take that and have it influence her to want to do it sooner than organically later, to want to do it if maybe she thought about it and might have had the chance, but she said no because none of my, you know, favorite people do it, and then boom, she finds out that one of her favorite people does it. Now the next time fuckboy Jimmy offers her a little hit of the joint, she wants to, you know what I mean?
Right.
I just start going down that road and thinking that. And I just don't want to be that because I love her so much. But from an uncle standpoint, that's that weird crossroad that I have to be ready for because it almost just happened, literally, for the Super Bowl. She almost literally walked in on me smoking. You know, I was outside and I invited her and my mom to come to the Super Bowl party, which we had an amazing time. Shout out to all my people. And we were outside smoking a pipe, but we were deep into the backyard. So when she got there, I didn't know she was there with my mom. And my boy just passed me the pipe. We didn't have a joint. He just passed me the pipe. And I literally have it in my hand, and I was like telling like a joke, looking at him. And as I'm looking at him, telling him a joke, I hear, hey, Tio. And I look way down, the pathway of the pool, and it's her coming with my mom behind her. Funny part is this. I literally think that she already knows something's up. And that whole hey Teal was literally to let me know,
like a warning.
I'm coming. I'm coming, and I know you don't want to expose me. But I ain't no fool.
Yeah.
Because she never yells out, hey, Teal, from a fucking distance. She waits till she gets in my face, and she hugs me, and she this, and she, you know what I mean? So I guess, or maybe my mom hit her and was like, hey, tell him you're coming. Who knows? Who knows, man? Grandmas, But I get, a little bit of how to, that weirdness of how to handle, and when your young ones surprise you of this new level of adulthood, like, hey, mom, get your lazy ass out the house and go find a man, like that's, I get it. Yeah.
No, and I mean, I think that a lot of times we take them for, they know more than we think they know.
Yes, right. You're not taking it for granted, but
absolutely,
yes, I
not taking it for granted.
Right.
There was
I got you though, yeah.
But it's like, I think they know way too much at these ages, and I'm pretty sure Damaya is a very smart girl. I love her, by the way. Hi, Damaya.
Hey.
But I think they know a lot.
They do.
And it's like, that's why I felt like, with my daughter, I'm like, I'm gonna be more open, and I'm just gonna tell you, what's up. I didn't like straight out just be like, hey, one day. I let it happen. I let it flow. I let her ask me a question, and then our relationship went from, being a little less open to more open, and that's how it's just kind of progressed, because it's just happened. It's just happened like organically. We'll be in the car driving somewhere, going to lunch, whatever. We're hanging out. We're at the mall, and she just says something, and I'm like, really?
Correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't she tell you that she knew I smoke weed? I asked you, did she know you smoke weed? You guys had a conversation.
Yeah.
Somewhere there I popped up, and I don't know. Oh, because you guys were in Disneyland, you bought me that shirt. Or no, where was it?
It was Busch Gardens.
Busch Gardens.
Yeah, Busch Gardens.
And you bought me this awesome shirt. I just wore it like 4 days ago. It's a giraffe, right? It's like from the giraffe from the neck up. And it says
High Life.
High Life. Yeah, High Life. And he has shades on.
Yeah.
And I was looking at you like, yo, what the fuck? Like, that.
And she was the one who pointed it out when she was training with you.
Yeah.
And she was like, Ma, she was like, it smells like weed in here.
Oh my God, no. Yes. No, that's what it was?
Yeah. But then I think she saw like a pen or something.
To any future clients of mine, my warehouse does not smell like weed. That day, my gym partner, my business partner, left something. All right, I'm done being full of shit. I didn't smoke in there, that's for damn sure. But it was my partner. He had a photo shoot upstairs in the studio that he has, and it was dudes doing fugazi shit. So they were flexing on camera and all that, and they were smoking blunts. And I told him, I was like, homie, you can't do that. But nonetheless, I'm glad it happened organically because I do smoke weed, but it wasn't me who did that. No.
Right. No, but she's not the type to be like, oh, she's very mature for her age. She's not judgmental like her mama.
Awesome. She's awesome.
So she's like, whatever. She just started laughing about it. And then we went to Busch Gardens and we saw the shirt. She was like, Ma, because I was like, oh, we got to get Wes something, And she's looking around and she sees the shirt and she's like, Ma, look at this. And I was like, oh, Lord.
Damn it,
so
man.
we even had them, we had to have them go to the back and get your size and everything. Like, it was, but it was perfect for you. We're like, that's perfect for Wes. So.
It's a damn shame that she didn't keep training because I swear, man, I know talent when I see it. And that little shit had natural fucking talent, man. It's a little,
I thought so, too.
A little spicy Mexicana. She had that Chavez blood in her, man. Damn it, man. I wanted to really help her bloom.
I tell her every once in a while, I'm like, come on, what are we going to? She's like, I don't know, not yet,
It is what it is. Should I offer you this or not? We have to be considerate to these youngsters, and we got to try our best to remember when we were teenagers, Nyssa. Like when you were a teenager, regardless of what you were going on through life, there was some social aspect of it that just governed what you chose. Unless you were deep into sports, your choices were based upon what socially influenced you. Where are your friends? Your friends are in the band? Well, I'm going to be a fucking band person then. Yeah. The people you got close to, they're artists. I'm going to get into art. If they were, hopefully they were into sports, then they dragged you into whatever it is. But high school takes over, man. And it's all about being cool, being present, what's going on, what can I do to not be on the outside looking in.
Right.
And it just went from there. So I didn't see it coming, but I kind of felt it. Remember we had that conversation?
Yeah,
and you're like, are you going to dump us? And I'm like,
I was like,
no, bro, are you kidding me? I'm just telling you, get ready because I see your
it's
daughter
coming.
having these certain moods. You know, the periods.
Yeah.
The poor girl, man, the periods will hit her hard, you know? And me, I'm not used to that.
Right.
I'm not used to that, you know? When a young 15-year-old's like, holy fuck. Now, what's
like,
wrong with you? And I'm thinking, you faking? Because I'm just tough. I'm strong on that,
No,
you know?
I get that because I'm the same way with her. I'm like, and then I got to be like, okay, I got to tone this down a little bit because she's, you know, she's a young lady and, you know, I got to be more.
TMI, when you get hit by her, are you one of those that it really hits you hard or no? Periods? No? It's crazy how you guys, you know, I had this conversation with one of my friends and I was like, man, it's so inconsiderate for us to think we know what a girl's going through when these cramps hit them. But I can't lie, I'm the most guiltiest motherfucker alive about when you guys go through it. I always think that you're overplaying it.
Yeah.
I'm like, you can be tougher than that, man. Come on, man.
I mean, we bear children, you know, we carry children, you know, so I mean, we're tough, but if, you know, a woman feels bad, then she literally feels bad because I think we have high pain tolerances. Right. So it's like, yeah, no, I'm good. So
I agree. I see.
You know, like I said, you know, we like,
okay, but hold on. Would I be in the wrong? And I apologize for cutting you off. Would I be in the wrong for assuming? I'll be damned if you don't agree with me, but if you don't, fine. Would I be in the wrong for assuming? And guys do it too. Okay, we're talking about humans in general, but that because women know that guys do not know what level of shit they're going through when it hits them, whether they bleed hard, they cramp hard, or this hard. Is there not, whatever the percentage is, but is there not a percentage of women out there that do milk the fucking cow just to be like, to get away with acting like an overly emotional bitch, to get away with being too needy, asking too much, baby, but you know I'm on my period, just go give me that chocolate ice cream.
I mean, there totally could be. I can't speak for every woman. There totally could be.
You sound like a defense attorney. Get out of here.
I can't speak for every woman, though. That's the thing. Like, I just, you know, I think there are women out there that do that. I know a couple that are like, you know, they're princesses and shit like that. So they're very like, but, you know, for the most part, I think women are strong. So, you know, I think that the ones who do complain, I think it's probably because they really do feel that bad. So
you want to tell guys listening right now, whether or not she might be, you know, exaggerating a little bit, most of the times your average woman, when she tells you that she's really hurting or feeling it or whatever, it's affecting her a certain way, respect that it probably is.
I mean, yeah, and not only that, but it also, it affects your mood. It affects the way you feel. You get emotional, you know. It's all of that plays a factor, you know. You guys don't. We have to deal with that. Y'all don't bleed like that, you know? So we have to deal with that. So, I mean, you know, give her a couple days. The first couple days, just be like, hey, all right, you want chocolate? What can I get you?
So look, hon, listen. I swear to God, I feel like I'm one of the most considerate motherfuckers on this planet. And that's why I connect so much, like when we started the podcast earlier, that's why I connect so much to these veterans, though I'm not a veteran, and their stories and what they've been through, because I really put myself in other people's shoes as often as possible. I do that because I think it's the right thing to do for the most part. And of course, you or myself, I'm going to do that more so because I wish people knew what I went through when I was going through certain phases of what I've been through in life. Because there was many, many times where I just felt like it's not even worth explaining to you. I just know you don't get it. You know? But still, I just feel like no matter what, there's always an exercise. There's always a method. There's always something that you can apply to minimize that, let's call it that handicap, that weakness, that moment that creeps up on all of us at some point. Whatever that moment is, it could be fucking constipation. I'm just saying, no matter how tough it is, I just think that there's always ways of strengthening your abilities to deal with it so that you don't deal with it in any worse of a way. It's just like a bad attitude. Yeah. You got a bad attitude, you got to fix that bad attitude. You got a short temper. All right, I get it. For whatever reason, you got a short fuse. But you can work on it. How? By putting in the reps.
Yeah.
I just feel, women, I apologize, but I'm just keeping it 100. I just feel like you motherfuckers don't try that enough. And I do not know what you're all going through. It just seems like just because all humans do it, I just feel like you guys are, instead of taking the finger, you're going for the arm. And I think it happens more often than not because whatever, just personal experience. I think guys, I don't know, guys, y'all tell me. I think most guys agreed with that.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
Well, I mean, like I said, women are different. You know, there's some women that have certain conditions, you know, they're going to hurt more. They're going to, I don't know. And there's some women that don't have high pain tolerances. Like, I have a high pain tolerance. So that's probably why.
Oh, we're going to talk about that.
I'm like, whatever.
See, that's why I told you I don't know if Alyssa wanted to watch this. I told you we're going to get there.
So anyway, like I was saying, some women have, you know, and some women, like I said, they have conditions and they have different, you know, different issues. So I can't speak for everyone. But I do know that it sends you on a, you know, on a whirlwind of different emotions and different, you know, different things. And then you're worried about that and, you know, amongst whatever else it is that you have to do. So I feel like it just depends on the person, you know,
I think it was I don't know if it was a client or just a good friend, but we had this conversation. Well, we didn't have this conversation. I just said like a slick comment that just kind of like shortened everything we're talking about right now. And he said something like, just remember, Wes, you're talking about a hormonal imbalance that occurs when you guys go through that. He got technical without trying to sound like a doctor. He's like, remember, your hormones are what causes certain whatever it is you want to get into. And when these girls go through this, their shit just gets all imbalanced.
Exactly.
And even they can't control it the same way. And he said this. Damn, I hate to say this, but whatever. He said, kind of like when, you know, the next day after you do a good Molly, when you do a good ecstasy pill, your hormones, everything is off. And then you find yourself looking at a commercial, even though you feel great, you're just watching a commercial on Sunday and it makes you cry like a little baby because your hormones are off. And you're literally thinking to yourself, the fuck am I doing crying? Like, you're literally like, I don't even feel like I should be crying. Why am I crying? Like, I'm not sad. Why am I crying? When he said all that, I was like, oh, wow, that's a great point. Because that's almost like uncontrollable.
And it makes total sense because, I mean, whatever. I get super emotional. So I already know. I'm like, I mean, I'm already sensitive as it is. But then, when it, you know, it gets close, I'm like, oh my God, I'll see a commercial and I'll be like, oh, you know, like I just get like that. So I'll get super emotional about a lot of different things. And it's just something that happens. I can't do anything about it. I don't feel pain. whatever. I just get emotional.
I guess the best general approach to it all, maybe you know, I'm not gonna say a solution, but whatever. As guys, we need to be more understanding, especially, you know, after literally this conversation we just had. I keep learning about, you know, the different levels and intensities and all that. We need to be more understanding and really take you guys more serious, hoping that you're not, you know, abusadoras who are just fucking milking the cow. But speaking for the guys, I think you guys need to, and I know this word is overly abused, but I think you guys need to communicate that a little bit better. Not what you feel as far as like, hey, when I have my period, this is what I go through. No. Every month is different. When you feel it coming on and you sense, oh shit, I was shedding a tear for no reason. Oh shit, I snapped on this chick on the gym for no, but whatever. When you sense it, and I think you guys can because you can, don't wait for us to detect that you're being a fucking awfully rude bitch today. You know, like, tell us, hey, you know, I feel that Incredible Hulk thing coming up. You know, I feel the, you know, the bug coming, and I just want to let you know because I'm going to try my best to, you know, not be how I told you I normally am, this, that, whatever. But I'm just letting you know I kind of feel it because, you know, yesterday I thought I was going to get in, I didn't, but I was watching this and I started crying, so I know it's coming. So if I snap on you, I apologize. You know, like one of those type ordeals. I don't think you guys do that.
Yeah, I mean, I've been single for a while, so I can't tell you that. I can't be like, yeah, I let them know, I warn them. No, I mean, it's just something that I go through. Like you know, and I think on the women's behalf, they're going to go through what they're going to go through. Like you guys don't tell us you're going to get sick and mope around and, you know.
Oh, is that what you're doing right now? Is that what you're doing? We just okay. So I knew something like
saying,
no, but that's fine. That is totally cool because I know that's a common call out against men. That all that shit that we talk on that woo whatever we're men shit. When we get sick, we become the biggest bitches. Okay, so I'm not gonna completely agree, but I see where it's coming from. I do agree to a certain extent, but. And I swear to God, not to you, Nyssa, you know you're my fucking ace, and not to the ladies or the people listening. I'm not doing this for show. I do think, much like when you got some badass kids, much like when you got a misbehaving ass dog, much like when you got a friend who you love him to death, but he or she always acts up in a way that you despise, but yet they never grow out of it, I think that falls on the beholder, meaning the girlfriend never checked him and was like, yo, you're being very needy when you're sick. I don't like that. That's a turn off. I got you. You know I got your back. But I feel like you're being a pussy. It's just a fucking cold. It's just a 2-day little, back and forth fever. Like, chill out. It's Omicron. It didn't hit none of us that hard. You know what I mean? So I'm not blaming it on y'all. No fucking way. Yeah. But if you allow something, okay, like I hate when girls, anybody, it just happens to be a girls do it more than anything. When you do that, what we call, us Latinos, we call it ñoño or ñoña, which is like that goo goo gaga shit where it's like, baby, do you mind going to the refrigerator to get me a beer? And it's like, bitch, you're closer than I am, but okay. I mean, it's only 15 feet. Sure, I got you, I love you, of course. All right, cool. But when you're that type of person that does that, you get ñoña, you get ñoño. I despise that on anybody. But I do agree that for some reason, and I think most of it is because, again, not blaming women, first, mother nurturing that you get used to, that when you're sick, who came to your aid? Your mom did. So that's kind of like it's hard to disconnect from that. Now, I'm not excusing it, but it's hard to disconnect from that. And then if and when you pull that shit on a chick that's your girl, if you don't call that fool out, it starts falling on you. You're now part of the problem. You got to let them know, hold up. Because if a girl came with that ñoña shit to me, hence why I've been single so long, I'm going to be like, ooh, no, my niece, my number one, my niece, if she ever comes at me with that soft-ass shit and she don't got a bullet hole through her fucking hip, I'm going to be like, oh, what the fuck are you doing? Hold on, what's all this soft-ass shit you're doing? What's all this? Nah, we don't play that. I don't play that, You'll get my attention by speaking to me clearly. So, yes, I guess that's the rumor about the fellas. Did you witness it? Do you agree? You have?
I have witnessed it, yes. But I mean,
how many times? I mean, is it common? Really?
No, it's not
common. When they get comfortable?
No, I feel like I even seen like dad, but I even seen my dad do that shit.
I see my brother do it. I see my brother do it.
And my brother-in-law, like just, you get sick and you're just like, it's the end of the world. That's it. You're just gonna get on the couch and lay down and go to sleep. And like, come on, bro. Like, I mean, again, women, we bear children. We carry them. You know what I mean? So I understand.
So here we are being pussies.
Obviously, we would.
Hilarious.
There's certain things we would, I think, just handle better.
Joe Rogan had it on his. Shout out to Joe Rogan while going through all that whatever ridiculous bullshit. I know that you love him, and I'm a ginormous fan of his. He's the podcast godfather, man. But he was talking about. They were on the topic of, I don't know how he got there, but it was like, if men had the choice that women had in regards to saying no about having a kid. Oh, because he was talking about when they didn't numb you back in the days. Back in whatever, it wasn't even that long ago, in like 1920s, 1880s, whatever.
Oh yeah, when
you were getting surgery without anesthesia. Like he was talking about videos of multiple people holding somebody down while they were slicing them open, fixing a broken leg because there's no anesthesia. And then they got into women and how they were giving birth, without anesthesia. And then they got into that topic real quick. They went in and out of it, but he said something that was so fucking true. He said, man, men don't give women enough credit because that if it was up to us and they said, hey, in order for us to have a kid, you got to pass that fucking thing through your urethra, through your tract.
Yeah.
We would be denying kids left and right. We would never put up with that to go through our shit, you know? And I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was very accurate.
Right.
Yeah, man. That's why you guys are who you are. That's why you guys are so important to everything about life, right?
Yes, absolutely. Shout out
many
to,
ways.
to all the women.
Yeah, man. I mean, you know, you wouldn't be here if you didn't know that I have the biggest appreciation for women. Love the hell out of them, and you know, I definitely think you guys, you know, in the future, you guys should be presidents.
Yeah.
When you realize just how much power you have, little by little. But when you think about what we've been through for so long and so on and so forth, and you don't know what happened in the past from somebody like Cleopatra, who was as influential as she was. Here we are, where a female was almost president, even though we're all glad she wasn't. I think. YouTube, don't blackball me.
I am.
But you know, and it's hilarious too. How about that? Let's talk about that real quick. Imagine a female becomes president, right? Cool. Doesn't matter. Let's say she's just qualified. I don't care, right, left, blue, red, whatever. You know me, I'm not into that like that. Yeah. But being that we're talking about what we're talking about, our nation needs to withstand whatever she's going through when that fucking period hits her once a month. Is that fair to us?
Oh, Lord.
Think about it. You know, like...
I mean, you know, she's the president of the United States. Like, I would imagine that she would have enough self-control and be able to, you know, control her emotions and things like that. You know?
Say that like y'all know how to do that, man. She's gonna.
Oh, here we go. No, I think
1 month she's gonna fucking open up churches around the world, and then the next month she's gonna put us in war. That's what you guys do.
Oh no way.
You're gonna say you guys are not that emotional when it comes to.
No, I think that.
No. Real, I'm cracking jokes, but seriously though, do you ever have those moments that sneak up on you where you're like, holy shit, that was a bad one? Like I'm normally not like that when it hits me.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm human. I'm human. I'm not. I try to be strong and I try to be whatever. But the other day, I cried in the shower. Like I was like, you know, I gotta like let it out. Right. You know, but that's something that I've also learned throughout the years too, as I've gotten older.
To open up and let it out.
As I've gotten older, I'm like, you know, I gotta be. Yeah, I can be strong, but I also have to let those feelings go.
It's okay to be vulnerable.
Right. Not be. I have to be vulnerable.
Right.
No matter what. So that's something that I've learned along the years or whatever. But yeah, I mean, it that happens. So I think, but I think there's a point also, like even at this point, that you as a woman, you learn to be in control of your emotions, and I think most women get there. You know?
But by what age though?
I can't give you an age. It just depends on what they're going through, I think.
I mean,
I think life experiences
yes. And we keep referring to that.
They shoot you into that.
Yes.
They shoot you into like, I want to be better.
But they don't all get shot that
no,
fast.
Not
so
everybody.
So give me an average. Come on now. Because I know I have that age in my mind.
Oh, man. I would say maybe like in your mid-30s to late 30s.
Perfect. There you go.
I think so.
We agree. Hell yeah.
I think that's where
if you hit it in your mid-30s, maybe even a seldom early 30s.
Yeah.
But if you hit it in your 30s, I expect that. If you're early 30s, you were fast forward. Right. You were slingshot, like what you said. You went through more a little bit quicker, and you picked it up quicker. Right. Should happen in mid-30s is where the average should land. But sometimes when you're late behind the ball, long relationship that went sour eventually, whatever it is, I don't know, then you get it in your late 30s. Yeah. But I agree.
I think so.
I think most men would agree to that too. And I'll tell you what, on that note, let me ask you this. It's kind of like, it's kind of going to that topic. So,
oh, shit.
How long, how long did it take you until you realized that you were, I don't want to say as freaky as you are, because I'm not even sure what some people would consider freaky compared to kinky. That's still a weird topic that I think everybody's on. I don't know. Maybe it's fucking Wikipedia or Webster Dictionary that threw us all off. I really don't know. But you can go from one person to another, and one thing's kinky means this, and freaky means that, and the other one thinks the complete opposite. But I think it's almost 50-50. I want to talk about that, but I also want to ask you, based upon where you're at now in your freaky, kinky, whatever, sexual preferences. Let's just call it that. That's a good way of rounding it up. Wherever you're at right now in your sexual preferences, when do you think you really the page turned over where you realized it? When did it hit you, or you realized that you wanted to journey into this new realm? What's up, everybody? Just want to take a quick second to tell you guys thank you so much for all the love and support. We are officially into season 4 of the podcast, and I have an array of brand new guests that you guys are gonna love. For now, enjoy the rest of the show. You know, I mean, I'm not gonna say you had it all figured out, but when was it that you obviously had to come through experience? At some point, dare I say it, you wanted that ass slapped. At some point, the hair pulled and did something. Whatever, I don't know. You don't got to go into details, but when did you realize? Because just keeping it 100, and I know the people listening are gonna find out. You're a little bit on that extra side. No. Yeah, you are.
Extra is a little, I don't know.
Too extra?
Yeah, it's too extra. So like I had said before, I was 8 years old. My father started going to church when my aunts got sick. And he started going to church. My family started going to church. And it was like I had to grow up in this, religion and stuff. And I had to behave and I had to be sheltered and whatever. So I lost my virginity at 19 years old.
Wow.
I was 19. And I met the guy in college. I was in college and we met each other, whatever. And it was just like one thing led to another, whatever. It wasn't with him that I knew that I loved, sex.
Okay.
It was actually with my daughter's father. I was like, this is mine and I'm gonna, whatever. That's where I knew that I was the one who was more like, this is what I want, this is what I like, and it just it all happened with him. That's where it started. Never
changed since then.
No, I mean, it's really just been...
So you explored those avenues when you got with him.
Right. To an extent. Like I said, I was the one who was like, I want to do this and I want to do that. And he was more standoffish,
So we've had some funny over-the-top conversations about sex and people's approach and this and that. And I have this with several people who are open about it. I love to talk about it without getting too TMI, too overly graphic. But we can always go there as well. I feel like you're a little bit more on the first of all, let's do a poll real quick. Let's ask everybody out there, and I'm going to ask you live. What do you consider kinky versus freaky? Is one lesser than the other? If so, which one is it? And once you describe that, and I definitely want everybody out there listening, to tell me what they think, where's the breaking point? When does one become the other? If you think freaky is less intense and kinky is more intense, where's the breaking point? What's that last boom? If you do past this, that you just kinky, you're no longer freaky, or vice versa.
Right. So I think kinky is more along the lines of whips and chains and, that kind of thing.
Okay.
I think a strap-on would fall into the kinky side.
Okay.
I don't know if that's... that would be my kinky. That would be the kinky stuff for me. Maybe a little bit of leashes. That might be the leash might fall on the kinky side with the chain. The walk in the. So
first of all, do you think kinky is less or more than freaky?
I think kinky is a little bit. I don't know. I guess I could say that it was more.
More, okay.
Yeah, because freaky I think would just be like.
I agree, by the way.
Yeah, I think freaky would be just you just
licking ass.
Yeah.
Love to 69 and some extra.
That you just enjoy sex and you want to just try different things.
Nah, not just sex.
Yeah,
it's gotta be extra.
Yeah, or a lot of sex in different places. Public restrooms, whatever.
Right, yeah. That's
out and
freaky.
about, that kind of shit. Oh, go to the car or whatever.
I can say that's freaky. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Okay.
And then the kinky would be the whole extra stuff, dominatrix, that whole.
Is there anything?
That whole world.
Is it okay? So it sounds like, and again, I'm in agreement with you right now. Is there anything prior to kinky that involves a toy, some type of prop? Because it seems like kinky, no matter what level it is, starts involving props of some sort, some additions, is there something in freaky? Because I know I already have an answer in my mind, but I want to let you go first. Is there something in freaky? No, I don't think it's freaky. I think it just should happen.
That would go.
That is not considered kinky, but it does involve a toy per se.
Maybe like a butt plug.
Okay.
Or like anal beads or
so
something.
I would say that to me that would be the limit.
That would be like borderline.
That's it.
To you, that would be borderline.
Yeah.
But we're talking about the woman here, right?
Yeah. I mean, let's not disrespect man. You know, gay men who do it. I mean, I guess it flies for them too. To be honest with you, it flies with them too.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think that's where the line stops. Right. So I was gonna say, because I'm not gonna. I know that you felt weird talking about the last person you were with or whatever, because they'll be watching this. I wasn't with this individual, but anyhow, had this occurrence with this person, and when we were talking about, you know, we were very open about that we thought it was going to go down, that we both wanted it to go down, right? Mm. And she's over here telling me, we're just vibing, whatever. Let's just skip through the bullshit. We're vibing. At some point, we got into the sex talk, and we started, you know, kind of like what we're talking about right now. And when she replied a certain way, I was like, oh, shit. And I was trying to be funny, but I was also trying to find out. I go, oh, shit, you sound like one of those hard comers.
Yeah.
She goes, what do you mean? Like, is it hard for me to, you know, to climax? I said, yeah. Like, it's hard for you to come. She's like, yeah, you're right. Yeah. And I'm like, wow. I just happened to call that one out off of it was just simple little ping pong conversation of whatever topics. And she goes, why, you got a problem with that? You know? And remember, we're over here thinking that it's going to go down tonight because we kind of openly talked about it to an extent. And she says, why, you got a problem with that? And I'm like, no, I don't got a problem with that. But, I mean, at the same time, whatever. I hope you know how to handle that on your own type shit. Like, you know, there's only so much somebody can do. Like, you know, and I was being honest. Yeah. I was like, tell me that you're at least, are you open to using, you know, some type of stimulation, a vibrator or something like that? And she goes, no, I mean, on my own? Hell yeah. But no, when I'm with somebody, no, that's your job. No, I don't care. You better. Bro, and I was literally like, what the fuck? What kind of selfish ass shit this is? Listen, our dicks don't turn in every which angle that your G-spot is. The stroke game is, you know, there's a lot of levels to it. I know there's guys that fuck this shit up and they just in and out, and they're very, you know, no efforts into going extra and this and that. I get that. I'm not defending these guys. I'm not one of them. But, man, there's some females out there who just expect you to just know what obtuse angle to hit and where to stick your knee up and leg and then, you know, like, come on, man. Yeah, meet us in the middle. Either really explain it to me or help the process out by pulling out whatever you need to finish the job while I do what I do and blah, blah, blah.
Well, that's where I think that openness comes in. Like, I think you should be totally open, especially like sexually. If you want something and you want it, say it. If the person's not comfortable doing it, I think everybody's like, all right, cool. You're not comfortable doing it, then let's move on, you know? But I think that everybody should be totally open to whatever their, you know, sexual preferences are, you know. Maybe before, if you have the conversation, if it leads up to it, then it's different.
Have you told somebody what you're into or prefer and they were opposed to it? And if so, what was your reaction? What'd you do?
No, it's never happened.
They're always down?
Yeah.
What's the wildest shit? I don't know if I asked you this before.
Lord.
What's not the wildest shit that you've done? Well, it might be up there. I don't know. What's the wildest shit that a motherfucking dude has asked you to do to him where you were just like, oh, Lord, I haven't had that request yet?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Here we go. And I'm not saying this because of you. I'm saying this because of the man who asked you to do it.
The only thing that I won't do is use a dildo on a man. I just don't find that.
Have you been asked to?
I was asked.
Before you were asked to, how'd you feel?
How
was the vibe? How was the vibe when everything with that person, that dude,
it was cool. It was cool. It was good. It was like, you know, everything was cool.
You never sensed
I didn't. No.
Not like that.
No, I didn't, not at all. So I'm
trying my best to keep a straight face here, man. This is tough. This is tough.
But for me, you know, like I said, everybody like what you like.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not like sex shaming anybody. Like, I want everybody to like get there, get your rocks off, however you have to do it.
Yes,
whatever.
I agree.
But that doesn't, that's not something that I want to do.
To the tango, if you're not with
so he asked me and I was like, what? Like, it was a complete shock. Damn. I was just like, this ain't happening. Like, no. So that's where it ended. Like, that was it. We were done. Wait, there was also a situation where this was a long, long time ago. Okay. It was something that it was an ongoing thing that I had with someone. And he tried to pull out toys that he had in a drawer in his bedroom.
Pre-used?
Yes.
You're going to assume it, of course.
Yeah. And I was like, I see this drawer open. And it was just kind of like, it was like during foreplay or whatever in the beginning. Right. And then he goes and pulls his drawer open. And it's full of these sex toys, like just, all kinds of stuff. Oh, and I'm like, I look and I was like, what?
The audacity.
I was like, excuse me. I was like, what are you doing?
You might have had a chance if that shit was in the plastic container.
I was like, what are you doing? And he was like, well, I just, whatever. Like, it was normal. And then he goes, yeah, I cleaned them, whatever. And I was like,
oh my goodness.
I was like, I just like jumped up and I was like, I'm leaving, but wow. For me, I'm still shocked when I think about it or when I talk about it. I'm like, I can't believe this happened. And I'm like, who would go with that? Like, who would I don't care if the toy's been cleaned. It's been used by someone else. Like, it's just, I was like, this is crazy. Like, there was nothing that I had ever experienced in my life. I was like, there's no way.
Speaking of something that I've never experienced in my life, well, I eventually did, but there's this, and right on cue, shout out to Chad Ochocinco. I'm not sure if you know who he is. He's I guess I can say loosely, he's a famous football player, who's very outspoken, very outlandish. It's all kind of shit. Now he's got a podcast going with I Am Athlete and also The Pivot. Anyhow, awesome dude, very entertaining. And the motherfucker just posted, he posted something about them asking him, sending a message of one of those dick enlargement pills type companies, or maybe not. Maybe it wasn't just dick enlargement. It was like better orgasm, better. It was just something, one of those things, But it's just fucking some infomercial type shit, some mass text type shit. So he took a screenshot of it and how he replied, and it was a hilarious way of replying to this shit. But he was being genuine. You can tell that the shit that he was saying was being genuine in regards to like, hey man, my dick ain't small, but I'm doing good with the amount of strokes that I give. And then he just said this funny ass formula of responses to like, hey, I might not be this, but I handle business like this, you know. And anyhow, it's comical. I'm gonna send you that link so you can see what I'm talking about.
I would like to see that.
Yeah. Communication is everything. Not everything, man, but it's just a big part. Right. You got to be upfront and honest about what it is that you would like. You prefer. Your pros, your cons. Your likes, your dislikes, your preferences. You need to try to get that shit out on the table, on a full plate, served. Not as quickly as possible, but goddamn it, pretty quick. Pretty quick.
I mean, and that goes for everything, because if
everything.
Everything.
Everything. We're not talking about just sex.
Yeah, we've talked about this. It's like, look, if you meet somebody and you want something, and they're like, look, kind of be upfront. And you can tell when the conversation is going somewhere, or you can kind of tell when you meet somebody, like, whether you want to pursue something a little more serious with them, or you want to just have a one-night stand with them.
If you're gonna have a scumbag person who's just gonna play you no matter what, they're just gonna do it no matter what, and you're not gonna find out until it happens, until you can figure it out. Otherwise, being straight up honest, I'm laying the cards out, so there's no misleading here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't sign this contract. Don't get in bed with me unless you're ready to X, Y, and Z, all that,
Or I work a lot, or,
Right, don't be so needy.
I do this and I do that, and da-da-da-da, and this is my schedule. So don't, initially, I think those things are super important.
Do you think that having a daughter, I mean, I've never gotten that vibe, but having your daughter, Alyssa, has never been an issue with almost any one of your potential anythings, right? Not that you've ever told me.
No, except actually, no. Well, there was one. Well, okay, so I've had 3 serious relationships, my middle relationship was with someone who had a daughter similar, like in the same age group as my daughter. She might have been like a year ahead. And at one point it became a competition between his daughter and my daughter. That's like weird. Okay. He would, I don't know, he just would try to always one up my daughter. So that's when I saw that it was like it was just not working out. Okay. So that was like one of the things that I was like, that's it, I'm done, you know. And it happened for maybe like a month or two. And I kind of noticed it and I was like, this is crazy. Like, why would you, you know? So that's the only time that I think I've ever felt where somebody didn't work out partly because of her, that, you know, because of that, you know, but it was just,
yeah, but
they always try to make it a competition.
Even that's on different terms than what I was thinking, but that's still weird.
Yeah, that was the only time that I ever felt like, you know, that she other than that, no, because I really don't, I wouldn't dating. I don't know. We were talking about that earlier too, dating people with children. Mm-hmm. You know, it's not the easiest thing, you know, also because of where you are in your life and what you have. Yeah, and what you have going on, you know what I mean? I have she's going to be 16 years old. I work all the time, you know, it's her and I take care of her, I do what we got to do. And it's just, I mean, I don't really have time I don't think that I would want to raise another kid.
Yeah,
you know,
it's a difficult thing to, you know, to involve yourself in.
Because
if you see seriousness behind whatever it is you're attempting, you have to take the whole fucking picture. Yeah. And you got to tell yourself, okay, this is a young kid. If we're serious for the next 1 year, 2 year, 3 years, I'm going to start being stepmama. You know, this becomes part of my responsibility. Yeah. So I'm not just taking in this man, I'm taking in this responsibility with the kid. And so I get it.
The opposite too, because I'm a package deal. Like I still have a minor, you know, so I'm not like, it's not just me. You know, so if anybody, you know, I'm like, hey, I have a daughter.
For whatever it's worth, I would be way more inclined to a daughter your age than the younger one.
The young one, yeah.
That's a lot to go through with the young ones, but again.
And I think that, I don't know. I don't know if it's different for men and women. My experience, I've always gotten along. Like the two relationships that I had, they both had children, from their previous marriage or whatever. And I felt like I got along really well with them. But I have heard horror stories of others where they're like, you know, the kids don't like them and blah, blah, blah. In my situation, the kids were great and they were teenagers. You know, one was a teenager. The other one was a little bit older. She was in high school, you know, and it was great. Like we had a great relationship. And even now that I'm not with her dad, we still kind of, you know, there's still like there's love there, you know, like every once in a while we'll, you know, just like on the DM, whatever, Instagram, stuff like that. So that's nice. But
you were talking about Buddy who was one-upping you with his daughter, right? Mm-hmm. The whole and I was thinking about the one-up thing. And I thought, you know, this is definitely a conversation that I've had many times, but not enough on a big enough platform in regards to who's one-upping who nowadays. The men used to, you know, dominate with the shit that they would do. Just trifling, cheating, this, that, whatever, blah, 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 blah. We're in a whole nother era right now. And we're even in an era that you and I might not have enough fucking ground to speak too much shit because, you know, we can talk about our age bracket, but we ain't no lame-ass old people neither. So where do you think we're at right now when it comes to this weird situation that not just a dating game, but men versus women are who's out cheating who? Do you feel like relationships are stronger or weaker? You know, are these marriages coming to a divorce? If you're 20 years in, or you know, what's your take on that? You know, we've had a lot of mixed conversations about that. We never, every time we do this, we're having a few beers or whatever. We're at Duffy's or wherever they're at. Duffy's, pay me, motherfucker. But you know, we don't get off topic, but we're all over the place. Right. What do you really think about that? Like, what do you think the ratio's at? What do you think? You know? I
mean, I really think that we're in a sad place as far as relationships are concerned, and I mean that because society has normalized, you know, all these different things, you know, cheating and you know, just all these different things outside of.
I told you, hip hop has the biggest influence.
It's so normalized, like it's just so normal for everybody to be like, oh, I got a divorce, I'm gonna throw a divorce party, or blah blah blah, whatever. Just I broke up with this one, and then, you know, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. And I think that it's just become so normalized that there's no, what is it? What's the word I'm looking for? There's no sanctity. There's no, people don't, they don't appreciate that. They don't appreciate the relationships the way that, like, let's say, for example, my grandparents did, or my parents, you know, like, they don't have that.
I was thinking the holiness behind it.
Yeah, there's a word
but
for
I didn't
it.
want to say holiness because I'm not holy, and that's not what I. But the purity, I don't know the. I get it. I know what you're saying.
Yeah, there's just the integrity. Don't appreciate
behind what's supposed to be behind a relationship, and even if a relationship falls apart, the integrity of not blasting on it, not waiting a certain enough time before you move on, things of that nature.
Right, waiting enough time, as in people are not healing from relationships. They're just jumping from relationship to relationship, and then they're damaging. So there's all these hurt ass people running around, and nobody has taken time to, you know, to heal from those wounds. You know,
totally
because
agree.
I mean, we're human. We're gonna get hurt, and people can say, "Yeah, I'm not hurt, and I'm whatever." But the reality is that deep down inside, as savage as you are on the outside, you have feelings, and you've probably been hurt, or I don't know, childhood trauma, something has led up to you not being able to, you know, have a good relationship, or, you know, whatever. But as far as today, I feel like society is too used to all of these things that are so negative towards relationships, and that's where we are, you know, like, there's no respect for it anymore. There's no respect for, you know, unity between two people. You know, and then people are always blasting marriage, like, oh, marriage is stupid, blah, 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 you know, getting married. And I don't know, everybody's raised their own way.
I get you. No, we're in a zone.
We're
in a weird zone.
I feel like it's just so, people don't appreciate it anymore.
We're in a weird zone.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to, I don't want to say I can lean on one side more than the other. I can, but I can't totally lean on one side because, like, people do get married for the wrong reasons. Yeah, I think marriage has been, I don't know, man. It's been put on too high of a pedestal.
Yeah.
Where it's become a staple point for people's lives. Like, if you don't do it, and if you don't do that at a certain age, you're less of a person. Whatever it is, you're less of a person.
Yeah.
And that pressure, man, that's so wrong in my opinion. And I think that I get it. I know where we came from. You know, again, I was talking about history and what people go through and how, you know, empathetic I am as far as trying to put myself in their shoes. But we were brought up on old traditional ways that needed to evolve.
Yeah. And
they have evolved, but somewhere in that process of evolution, it's gotten ugly. The waters have gotten muddy. And instead of, kind of like religion, whatever it was back in the days, it's gotten really muddy. Now everybody has a branch, you know, oh, I'm Christian, but there's 160 something branches of Christianity, and this is the one that I'm with. It's whatever's
out of convenience.
Yeah, it's out of convenience. That's what it is. So it's unfortunate. So I do agree with you on that. But I also think that, you know, it's huge. It's huge in one's life to ground yourself out of loyalty, out of commitment. And that, to me, that applies to almost anything. Your art, your sport, if you commit to it, you do it. Right. That's just it. So if you're going to choose this significant other and you commit, then you commit to what you said you're going to do. And even if it's falling apart and you need to get out, then you need to commit to what you said. And that's, hey, if it ain't going to work, I'm going to let you know because I love you that much and I need to get out of here. But when you become a scumbag and you start saturating what it is to be married, when guys are going around telling each other, man, you know, I'm a man, so a man's gonna do what he's got to do. You know, I'm gonna go to the strip club and do my thing. No, bro, there ain't nothing cool about that to me. That's gonna sound cool to the next man who's tricking on his lady when he goes to the strip club. But yes, that's more accepted. But I meant what I said. I know I said it as a joke, but I meant what I said. Hip hop is the biggest influence right now, has the biggest impact on the world. And by hip hop, I mean music. All the way around, not any one rapper, not any one song, just all the way around. And when you think about how much the majority of these people are talking about cheating, tricking, partying, doing this, flashing, whatever. This is why you have the situation that we're all in. You know, kids wasting more money than they should because they don't have it.
Yeah.
Being dickheads when they shouldn't be because, you know, they think that that's, you know, you're a real man if you do that. Girls twerking anywhere they go, like if they think it's cool, if they think it's whatever. You know how I feel about the whole twerking thing.
Yeah.
You know, just all that nonsense, Nyssa. I think it's so heavily influenced by hip hop and what's hot, what's on TV, what's on whatever, that these motherfuckers don't know what to do.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, I can see that. And like I said, I think that it's just such a common thing now. So people are not, you know, it's just so common to just do everything kind of ass backwards from the way that we used to do it when we were younger, you know, everybody just does a total opposite of, you know, and it's just, I don't know. Society is, I don't agree with a lot of shit. But like you said, traditional things have to change with the times. Doesn't mean that I'm going to go twerk or I think it's okay to twerk or whatever the case may be, or it's okay to cheat or to not, you know, or to, you know, step out, whatever. But, you know.
And, you know, the crazy part, and I know I lean on the whole kid thing as far, you know, I don't have any, you know, it makes my life easier. But talking about topics like this, I'm like, damn, if I had a fucking kid, and I got Demaya as my niece, and I think about her all the time.
Yeah.
And all I think is, fuck, man, what world is she about to step into?
Yeah.
What world is Alyssa going to step into? Because
absolutely,
it's different from what we did. It's different from, back to a shout out to oh my God, I can't say his name now, Frenchie. You know, look how many times he's seen this era keep flipping.
Yeah.
Frenchie's, you know, 97 years old. How many of these epic eras of just, they never dress like that. Yeah. They would never put that on TV.
Mm-hmm.
They would never say that.
They would never do this.
Never. How many times does that change for him? He must be numb to it. He just must be like, bruh, sit back. It'll happen. Don't worry.
Yeah, and that's like with my daughter. I'm like, you know, that's why I go back to the open thing with her and be, you know, be transparent and just be, because they can't be naive, but then you don't know what they're going into. Like, this is a whole new world right now that we're in. And it's just like, I'm doing the best that I can. I'm teaching her the morality. I'm teaching her those things. And that's my goal. It's just, you know, I'm going to do the best that I can. And I'm going to teach you as best as I can. And we're going to go from there. But I'm always going to be here, you know? So.
What's up, everybody? Just want to take a quick second to tell you guys thank you so much for all the love and support. We are officially into season 4 of the podcast. And I have an array of brand new guests that you guys are going to love. For now, enjoy the rest of the show. It was the day after my accident. The next morning, after I hit that guy and killed him. Mm. And he came to visit me. And he was trying to comfort me or whatever. And then when he was talking to me, he says, he tried to say it in a comical way. I can't recite it the best way, but he tried to say it in a comical way of like, damn, bro, who would have ever thought, man, that out of the whole family, you became the black sheep.
Yeah.
Because it was either my younger brother or my older brother who was the black sheep because they were doing the wrong things.
Right.
And that's why anyhow, that's when I took it on and blah, 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 blah. Where were we at? Hold on. Yeah, so, I mean, obviously, that's all you can do. Mm-hmm. You can just try your best. Try your best, and as long as you know, when your best falls short, is when you're not willing to accept that you can keep learning, that you can be a better parental guidance, and so on and so forth. But if you're always willing to learn and you're always trying your best, then that's all you can do. That's it. And for those who don't know, man, you know, Alyssa's amazing. She's awesome, and I've told you that many times. She reminds me of Demaya, just 2 years older. With a homestead slang. Oh,
yeah, no, I'm super lucky.
Got that slang.
I'm super lucky. She's a good kid. She's got a good heart, and you know, she's smart. I couldn't ask for more. You know.
All right.
So.
Well, that's good. You got something definitely to look forward to. And unfortunately, the same thing comes with a negative because she's such an awesome girl that it's like, get ready because she's gonna go through a lot of heartbreak. Yeah. She's gonna, she's a beautiful young girl, so she's gonna attract a lot of guys, and it's This is never ending. I'm so glad I'm not a parent. I'm so glad. Bro, I be looking at the Maya and I'm like, oh my God, my baby girl's so beautiful. Yeah. And she's got these green eye or green hazel eyes and she's a volleyball player and she's super tan and she's all developing and it's like, fuck. She's going to walk over dudes, but there's going to be a lot of motherfuckers going at her. And it's like, you know, it's that weird thing of like, okay, you got to
It's just kind of something you have to like get ready for. You have to just embrace it when it comes, and that's where we go back to like, you know, being super open with them and being like, hey,
exactly,
this is life and this is what we, you know, you already know. Like, don't act like you don't already know what it is, but you know, this is how you protect yourself.
There's a good middle ground there. Yeah. Can't shelter them. Mm-hmm. Can't be buck wild loose. You know, fucking let them see and know everything you do. Right. But you do got to expose them to enough little by little to gauge them and see, you know, how they react and what they do and what they're learning and what they're hearing. Mm-hmm. Because even if your kid's a fucking goody two-shoe, she's got a friend or he's got a friend who's a fuck up, whose parents are dealing drugs, whatever. Yeah. There's always that, you know, that kid. So you got to little by little just introduce them to the world. And I just, you know, it's tough for the world that we're in and where it's going. And I don't know what to say about that. I feel like as cuckoo as it fucking sounds, I feel like the aliens are the only thing that's damn near saving us from killing ourselves. Yeah. Because I think the aliens, and again, I know this is way off topic, but I think that this, you know, whoever it is, I do believe in this. And if you follow my podcast, you know I'm a strong believer of you know, aliens, Martians. I feel like the evidence leans towards they understand that if we try to kill each other on some nuclear shit, on some craziness, it's gonna affect the universal weather, you know, the weather out there, the same way space debris affects our solar system. And then they also, I don't know what their involvement is in our planet, but if we go to war with each other, it's gonna fuck it up for them to be kicking it over here. I don't know. I just know that we're in a bad place. We're in a very weird place. If you would have talked to Frenchie about this is one of those realizations. It's kind of like the whole topic of climate change, right? Mm-hmm. Are we really experiencing climate change based upon self-inflicted wounds? You know, is this global warming, or is this just something that happens every so many years, no matter what is going on in the world? But being that we're so technologically advanced right now, yes, we're helping it happen a little bit faster. There's arguments there. But the evidence is showing to like, hey, we're all going to be underwater in the future because all this ice that's here and here and here is going to melt. This is what happens every so many years. But the fact that we're fast forwarding it due to X, Y, and Z reasons, you know, those type of things are topics that we just need to realize that things keep happening. And that has to make you think about, all right, well, what phase are we going into now? Yeah. With your kids, with whatever decision you make, you have to think that. What phase are we going into now? Because we've been through a lot.
And it's absolutely, like, unpredictable. You have to kind of be like a chameleon and just, you know, you got to go with it. I think you have to go with everything that's going on. You just have to kind of, you know, and try to instill those things into your children or your niece or, you know, whoever. You have to just.
Into yourself. Hey. A lot of these people don't tell themselves that, you know, that, hey, man, get ready because this is probably going to happen. And how am I going to react? You got people who got so lazy and complacent due to COVID, okay? Bless those who experience real negative situations, especially if you lost someone. But a lot of people saw this as a, you know, oh, well, I get a chance to fucking take a vacation and get paid for it. I get to rethink life and so on and so forth. Yeah, I agree with you. We all went through it. But then people got so complacent that they've never had the opportunity to stay home, get hooked on the internet, get hooked on not having to face, you know, all these pressures of traffic and everything that comes with, you know, just societal things. And now nobody wants to work. Now we have a unemployment crisis. McDonald's is offering $19 an hour. Nyssa, if that doesn't make you feel old, I don't know what will. McDonald's is offering $19 an hour?
Oh, my God. Yeah, I see that, you know, also because of the industry that I work in. and just, you know, the other things that I do on the side. People don't want to work, and it's just, I think also this whole thing, these whole couple years of just craziness have kind of also messed with people's heads.
Without a doubt.
So people don't want to leave their house. People don't want to, you know, they don't want to be around people. They don't want to communicate. They've lost their ability to, you know, to go to a grocery store and
their
smile
social
at
skills
someone.
have got dumbed.
Everything is, everything has just, you know, it's changed in the past 2 years. So, and it's like, you want to be like, bro, like, wake up, like, just get out of your shit and just do what you got to do. But at the same time, you don't even, these people are just, I think they're so brainwashed, and they're just so, it's just,
you almost don't want to hold it against them, right?
Yeah. So it's like, you kind of want to be sympathetic, but then at the same time, it's like, bro, like, I've been working this time, and I've been, you know, whatever, or, you know, these people have worked, or just whatever. And they just, you can't get through though, you know, but it's just, I think, it's this whole thing has just done a number on people.
Here's a stupid ass example, but it really is a authentic example. I went to the masseuse Monday, and my masseuse changes because I go to this massage school, and it's just a great deal over here, right down the street from me, where you have a rotation of students who they're already massage therapists, but they have to put in the lab hours, the clinicals. So this is the first time this girl's ever massaged me. Anyhow, she was so cool and just vibing and talking to me, and we were just talking the whole time through the massage. And her name's Maggie. Shout out to Maggie if she's watching. The vibe was so cool and energetic, right? That I was just really in I don't know, entangled in it, like, you know, because it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen unless you're on a date. It doesn't happen unless you're with your close friends. And this has been an ongoing, long process of the last 2.5, 3 years. And anyhow, she asked me to turn around so she can do whatever, the front of my legs and this and that. And when she did, at some point I opened my eyes up because, you know, I was just keeping my eyes closed, you know, zoning out. And I see that she has her mask off. And it just took me so by surprise. It was the weirdest, stupidest, fucking momentary ordeal that I was like, oh, shit, her mask is off. Oh, shit, she's pretty. Oh, my gosh, she's got a beautiful smile. It was stupid as shit that just happened all within a split second because I've been so used to people always having their mask. When I saw her mask was on. This is the main reason. Had her mask been off at her job, no, they have to wear their mask. Yeah. So she felt a certain comfort where she took hers off because mine was off. I was like, hey, are you forcing this? She's like, no, go right ahead. I was like, fuck this shit, you know, boom. Yeah. But even when I go to Publix, to this day, I'm still a little taken back that so many people still have their mask on. I thought by now they saw all the updates. They read the statistics. They this, they that, and it just... You're more obstructing your breathing and making life a little bit more disturbing to yourself than you are protecting anything. So
yeah, it's that false sense of security, you know. And they also, like I said, I think it's done a number on them. Like, people are just not the same. They're not the same mentally. Nothing. It's just like, you really believe that? Like, this is what you really like wholeheartedly believe, or is it something that you're just scared of? Like, is it fear?
So look at the small connection to comparably. So this is a very small fragment of a PTSD syndrome, right? Because we all went through this. None of us have ever been through this epidemic. Okay, none of us. When was the last epidemic? I don't know. I don't have Jamie, look that up for me. All right, yeah, Jamie's not here. When was the last epidemic? I don't know, but this is not a common thing. This is something that barely happens, and when it happens, it's huge because it impacts the whole world. So this is the first time all of us have been through it. Every generation, even Frenchie. No one has been through this in our generation. When we all proceed on, doesn't matter who it is, the 20-year-olds, 10-year-olds, us in our, you in your 30s, me in my early 40s, this and that, we will never forget about this. We will never forget about this. This will always have an impact on us. And if you're one of those people who are more on the scary side of what you're talking about, who always wore their mask and this and that, you might never recover. Yeah. You might always want to put a mask on if you walk into, I mean, China has been like that for a while now, by the way. Yep. So And then now, take that little tiny thing that we just went through and compare it to people who've been through shit like Frenchie and others who have been through some really, really traumatic shit. Gives you a little hint of like, man, wow, I get it. I don't get it, but I get it. You know, I get it because we all felt that little hint of, man, what the fuck? Oh shit. You hear a cough. What the fuck? Like, you hear a sneeze, you're like, you just stop breathing. When you hear a sneeze, you just stop breathing for the next 10 seconds.
To do it.
Yeah,
you're like, oh shit, I'm coughing. People are like,
right.
Oh
you just want to dive into a bush somewhere. Like, it's just crazy.
Or you have to sneeze and you're just like, oh shit, you know?
Yeah. Go get tested. If you don't get tested, you're selfish.
Yeah.
You're inconsiderate.
A funny thing is, Frenchie, we're talking about Frenchie here. He, I don't know if you pay attention to my Facebook posts and stuff like that. But
what you talking about? What kind of insult is that? Oh, no, not Facebook. No, not Facebook.
Facebook. Instagram. So I do a lot of the same. Like on Instagram, you know how I post my shit. I do the same thing on Facebook. But Frenchie, I have him on Facebook. So he'll come to the bar and he'll be like, oh, let me get, whatever. And I give it to him and I'm talking to him and stuff. And he's like, Nyssa, I love your postings. I said, that's what he tells me every time I see him. Nyssa, I love your postings. So that kind of tells me where his whole view is at and where his mind is at and what, and I like that. Like, I think that's just I think it's awesome, It's
again, going back to Nick, who was on the podcast, believe it or not, when you give him these shout outs, you with Frenchie, not me with Nick. When you give him these shout outs, even if Frenchie would never ask that of you, nor would he think that it would have this special effect on him, it does.
Yeah.
It does. He realizes, wow, man, like, this young lady only met me a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. She didn't go to war with me. She's not a soldier. She's not this. She's a volunteer who became an employee of where I love to go, the only bar that I go to. And here she is, giving me a shout out in a fucking technologically advanced system that I never saw coming when I was, 5 or 10 years old. I mean, think about that, Nyssa.
Yeah.
You're talking about Facebook. Facebook came out when?
I can't even tell you.
I don't know the story. Yeah, what is it? 20 years?
It's 20? Been a while.
20. I'm 44.
I just remember having MySpace and then having Facebook.
So let's just say about 25 to 30 years. Okay. And Frenchie is 97. Again, that's one phase for him. Then you got internet. Then you got pre-internet. Then you got fucking, what's it called? Morse code. Oh my God. Frenchie was part of Morse code. Do you understand what that is? Morse code.
Oh man!
Wow. Yeah, man. Shout out to Frenchie and of course anybody else who's put in time and service for our country. But we're still in a dire situation, man.
Yeah.
We're in a very weird spot. We're all adjusting still. Now we're not even post-COVID because, I mean, if you follow enough, I know you see some of the same podcasts I do, and we always send each other links. There's still a big scare out there in regards to what the new strand might be, because these are mutations that continue happening. They continue happening. This is what the the COVID strand is known to do. Same way it did it with Omicron. It's going to continue happening, but it might be a more distant. I remember, again, big shout out to Joe Rogan. He had this doctor on recently who was saying that, look, we're not saying it's going to happen, but there's no way we can say that it's not going to happen. These mutations have been known to go across animals. Mm-hmm. So animals are catching COVID. And how that animal deals with it, whether that animal passes it on, and if it's a stronger animal or a weaker animal, whatever it is, they're going to keep carrying it on. And during that carrying, that COVID, scars, right? Scars might, scars. We'll call it COVID. That COVID might mutate into a new strand. Mm-hmm. And anyhow, he says, dude, the thing is going to happen. They feel confident it's not, but he says it's very possible at the same time. You know, so we're probably going to go through this for a while now. And I just don't know that people would ever walk out of this mask thing. I don't know, would it become like the common flu? Would it be a weird scare where, you know, we're like.
Yeah. Well, I mean, isn't it already like the common flu? Like, that's what
we think that you and I.
You and I, yeah. So we've gathered.
A small percentage of us, but we're not the people in public wearing masks.
I mean, like I said, I think that people are freaking royally screwed up, and they think that that's gonna keep them, you know, from
Safe
whatever,
enough,
or I don't know. I just maybe they're ashamed, you know, like that's where the whole like mental screw up I think has come in. I think people just have kind of lost it.
So I remember again I saw this docuseries on the impact of what COVID did to us if it was strategically done. If it was strategically done, call it conspiracy if you want, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to bring a certain people, you know, let's just say Americans, you want to bring, you know, certain society to a very inferior phase to where they're going to do anything you want. There's certain levels to it and how you approach it. What do you do? This, and this, and that. And the docuseries went through the phases of how you do it. And part of it was masking them. Part of it was making them feel shame. Part of it was don't do this act or show this part of your body, or you're going to be, you know, recognized as something shameful. And when you instill this little by little by little on people, same way if you teach a kid a lesson of don't fucking scream, don't cry, don't curse, don't whatever. Same thing. You got to make it seem like it's shameful. They do it to us in a very subtle way.
Right.
And man, the comparisons were scary.
Yeah.
It was scary because it was like, wow, this seems intentional. You don't want to think it because then you're a conspirator, but
then you're a conspiracy theorist or whatever.
But it seems intentional, you know.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. I think we've had these conversations before.
Yeah,
I'm just like, you know, this is, I don't know. Like in the beginning, of course, everybody was like, "What is this? It's new." Nobody knew.
Right.
But then after a while, it was like, are we really like? I mean, and even now, like today, there's certain things that have contradicted themselves, and it's like, are we really this? Like, you know, we're not stupid, you know. It's like, what kind of testing are they doing? Like, what are they doing to just, you know, brainwash people? Like, how is this? Sometimes I still can't believe this. Like, all these things are happening and all these things happen. Like, sometimes I'm like, where the hell am I? Like, what planet is this?
Speaking of that,
So weird.
Did you hear about? And again, and I don't try to follow this because I know it's just gonna piss me off. Like I'm upset right now. The whole Maxwell. What's her name? Maxwell? Epstein's
the
chick.
Oh no. No, the Ghislaine
whatever. Yeah, Ghislaine Maxwell, whatever. Okay, so anyhow, it's not about her, but a pimp. And it wasn't just one, there was another guy a few days back before that. People connected to the whole Epstein thing. Mm-hmm. Mysteriously came up.
The associate.
Came up dead.
Yeah.
Came up dead.
And he hung himself the same way that.
So to me, the scary part is this. It's so blatantly in front of us. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just like, ha ha.
Yeah.
You can't do shit about this. All of y'all know that we just fucking set this up. It's so obvious that this guy did not hang himself. We killed him. Same way we killed Epstein. Same whatever. And we just can't do shit about it.
Yeah.
That's scary,
it's
man.
that kind
Nyssa,
of
that's
shit
scary.
They throw that shit in your face. Like I, you know, you already know what I think about all this shit. It's just, I can't even, like I said, I can't even explain it sometimes because I'm like, I can't believe this is happening. Like I never thought that I would be living through something like that.
We should be saying that about aliens.
Or my children.
We should be saying that about the Loch Ness Monster, Bigfoot, some shit like that. Chupacabra.
Yeah.
Not about fucking influencing, governmental officials, doctors, physicists, everybody who's tied into this shit. Obviously, ex-presidents. Like, this is insane.
It's insane.
This is insane.
It's just like unbelievable. It's
and then the way that, and then if you talk too openly about it, you get censored.
Yeah.
Now that makes you feel like, well, you must be part of the problem. Mm-hmm. What do you mean? Are you guys all part of a secret society we don't know about? Why are you defending this guy?
I had Facebook posts from like a year or two, year and a half ago that were getting flagged. And I was getting banned on a regular basis from Facebook and stuff like that. Just for like stuff that happened so long ago. I'm like, really? Wow. This happened a year ago, year and a half ago, whatever. And now I'm getting kicked off of the site for that or whatever. And I thought it was so stupid. I'm like, really? Like this is, but all this, all these things that was happening with Joe Rogan, what's happening, you know, what's happened with the My Pillow guy, like what's happened with everybody.
Right,
like
the My Pillow guy.
It's just so like, this is really what we've you know, we've become. You know, it's stupid. It's so stupid. So it's sad for you know, my daughter and for your niece that they have to experience this stuff, because when we were kids, we never, you know, everybody was able to say how they felt and able to do what they wanted and just be who they were and not
I'll tell you what,
have to explain themselves to anybody.
On that note, without the ego kicking in, I think that's another reason why that makes us, sorry to say for anybody who's listening, who doesn't share our tactics, I think that makes us better parental figures with our kids, because we're not trying to be blindsided by this craziness that's going on. We're trying to get them ready without putting a gun in their hand. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like we gotta school them little by little. Like, hey, shit's ugly out there. Yeah. Okay.
And it could get uglier.
And it's like, no, it's not. It can. It's gonna get uglier. It's gonna get uglier. All right. And I need to remind you of X, Y, and Z about how ugly it is, but I also need to remind you to go ahead and have a loving heart. But I need to put that mix in you, because if I pump all this, you know, fairy tale bullshit on you, when this shit gets ugly, like we know it's gonna get ugly, your soft ass you're gonna break, and it's gonna be my fault. Yeah, it's gonna be my fault because I didn't get you ready. And I hope parents think like that. They should think like that. If you want to be a parental figure, shame on you if you don't get them ready for the real world. What's the real world? I don't know. Figure it the fuck out. But it's getting crazy. Yeah. It's getting crazy. Imagine, once again, talking about Frenchie, imagine if you were back in those times and you had to tell your daughter, well, she wasn't your daughter, let's say she was your son, and he's 16, and you got to tell him, my love, everything, you mean everything to me, in 1 year. There's a very good chance you're going to get drafted into a war that we don't got fucking shit to do about. And there's a very good chance I'm never going to see you again. So for this next year, I want you to just overdose me with love. Yeah. Because our country's at war and you're expected to go over there. That's how it was back then. Yeah. Like, that's fucking insane.
Well, they're telling us right now to possibly there could be cyber attacks, or to prepare for a hurricane, like to have, you know, essential items that you would need in case there was a hurricane. Like, why? What the fuck? Like,
but not everything else. Not all the important shit.
It's just, but it just for them to even be telling us that, like, that we could be, you know, that there could be cyber attacks and there could be something could happen, so that, and we won't be able to buy supplies, shit like that. Like, I mean, really, like, what? This is America, right? You know.
We're supposed to be on top of all that.
This is America, you know, and I say that with all my heart, you know. Like,
right, you're a proud American. Hell yeah.
I'm like, are you fucking serious? Like, we're really going through this, you know.
Can you believe that during our era, we're looking our weakest ever? Yeah. As Americans, we got these Russians and Chinese just salivating at the mouth at what they can do to us, man. God, I hope we don't go there. And I used the term God loosely, like, you know, I'm a believer, but, you know, I just hope we don't go there. I do get disturbed when I see certain wannabe gurus or people that I don't follow, but I come across their pages, they're this or that. And when I see this, we're in dire times and this might very well happen. Putin might this and you know, Chinese might be doing that. It's like, that's a little extra scary, you know. Quick example. There's this TikTok girl that I follow, and it's called, well, it's her questioning her dad. She says, questions that people want to ask a retired spy but never have the chance to. And then boom, her dad's a retired spy. And this motherfucker looks like he's already 60, and she looks like, you know, 20. Like, you know, like he pulled out way too late. The questions are awesome, and the guys, if he's lying, he knows how to beat liar detector tests. So if he's lying, he's doing a great job. But there's certain questions that she asks him because it's fans that are asking, and he's always leaning on the World War III will happen faster. Oh no, we're fucked. Oh yeah, you should go get a bunker. Like, just shit that's like, a retired CIA spy. Yeah, is telling us all that. What's up, everybody? Just want to take a quick second to tell you guys thank you so much for all the love and support. We are officially into season 4 of the podcast. and I have an array of brand new guests that you guys are gonna love. For now, enjoy the rest of the show. Okay, so let me put a little bit of pressure on you, and let me see what's the first response that comes out of you for just random questions that I want to ask. But I want to ask. I don't want you to answer just for me. I want to ask you, what is the best answer, the best advice, the best way that you would guide anybody listening based upon the question I'm going to ask? Okay? Quick fire. Don't overthink it. Say what comes to mind, and that's just that. Okay? Let's just run with that. Cool?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. What's the best advice you can give young ladies in their 20s, going up into their late 20s, about to hit their 30s? What's the best advice you can give them to help them get ready for life?
A big thing I think would be, be yourself. Don't be fake. Just
don't be politically correct.
Go with no. I'm saying just go with who you are. Like, don't all this impressing other people and all this doing shit for the gram or whatever. Like, that shit is irrelevant at the end of the day. You have to be for yourself, and you have to do what you want to do and what you desire, and just everything that you want, just go for it. Just go for it. It doesn't matter how old you are. Just do what you got to do.
What would you tell the same age group in regards to the boys?
I would probably tell them the same thing. Chivalry is not dead. That's still super attractive. Okay. So if I know that it's super cool to be whatever, to be a dick and to be but chivalry is not dead. Like, but you just said that statement though. That sucks to hear. It's cool to be a dick. That goes back to the whole savagery, and that goes back to society, saying that it's okay to do this and do that.
Hip hop.
Yeah. Well.
See, I keep going back to that.
Yeah. You don't have to hurt people.
Thing, but yes.
Yeah. I mean, I think all these things, it's not necessary.
You became a mother at a young age, not the youngest, but a young age. And you've had all the ups, downs, and everything else about it. There's definitely a lot of young mothers out there who either might be pregnant, had a baby young and they're still young, or might be right there in your same shoes. What comes out of you instinctively to tell them in regards to some type of advice?
Man, that would be, going through what I've been through and experiencing the things that I've experienced as a single parent. Would just be that you need, have a support system. If you don't have a support system, you do what you got to do. And nobody is going to love your child the way you love your child. Nobody is going to work for them the way that you work for them. It's just so important to just believe in yourself as a parent. If you're a mother and a father, if you're a father that's single, whatever the case may be, it's there's nothing that you can't do, especially if, you have children involved and they're your world. Like, that's really what happens, and you can do anything. So there's, don't let anybody, say you can't do it on your own, whatever it takes. You can always do it.
You definitely feel like it's tougher for the women who are put in your shoes to be a single mother, and have to raise a child by themselves, even with the support system that they might have. But would you say that it's definitely more difficult for them than it would be for a man in the same situation? Maybe not the same situation, but just, doing his part as a man, as a father?
I think no, not necessarily. I think it could be equally as hard for both parents, whether it's the father or the mother. It just depends on how hard you want to work and what you want to do and what you're willing to, the things you're willing to fight and stuff to make shit work out.
And obviously a good upbringing would help that.
Yeah.
Help that out.
Yeah. I mean, it would. It would. But like I said, it's nothing that you can do. So, I mean, I had a little bit rough in the beginning or whatever, but I managed it. I made it work, and it was like, I had a certain amount of money every week, and I was like, all right, this is what I have to spend to go to work. This is what I have to spend to take her to daycare. I even took her out of daycare, and I was taking her to work with me. And it was like, I was like, okay, do you want to have like something fast food for the week? You know, it was like one treat a week.
Right. Yeah, I get it.
You know,
because you're on a limit.
Yeah,
I
was on a budget.
Period.
I was on a budget, and I didn't. You know, at the moment, I didn't have anybody. I was completely alone. I didn't have, you know, the help of her father. I didn't have the help of my family. There was a period of time where it was just me. I was alone, you know, but I made it work, and she inspired me to make it work. So I did what I had to do.
If you were sitting in front of a panel of guys and it's the end of this whole questionnaire, this whole interview, this whole ordeal, and these guys want, all right, what's the most general best piece of advice that you can give us before we walk off this stage? Top 3. What comes to mind? These are guys, I mean, I know you have the right to ask me, well, what age are them? I mean, you do have the right. Nah, let's put it to the 30s, early 40s. If it comes out of you, if these guys are like, hey, man, what's the best advice you can give guys in our age bracket that comes out of you instinctively based upon what you've been through, what do you answer?
I would say stop trying to be so hard. Like, stop trying to, like, you know.
Gangster?
Like stop trying to be so, like, stop trying to hide your feelings. Be more vulnerable. I think it's good to be vulnerable.
Okay.
Both sexes, but I think for men, I think that men find it a little bit harder to be vulnerable.
Okay, I agree with that.
So yeah. I think it's okay to be more vulnerable. It's okay to, like, let your guard down, you know?
Okay, all right, that's
and
one.
Just kind
I like that. I can vibe with that.
Yeah. Let's see.
Come on, man. If I was the equivalent of fucking 3 of your homegirls, you'd be teeing off right now, talking shit about, man, these motherfuckers needed this, and they motherfucker, come on, just.
Nah, because I don't even get down like that. So.
Well, but there's at least 2 more things that you're just like, you know what? I wish men would work on this.
The chivalry thing.
So okay, there you go.
So I know that there's a big debate on that though.
Because you know it still exists, but it doesn't happen enough.
There's a big debate on it though, because a lot of men think, oh, you know, well, everybody, you know, feminism, blah blah blah. They want to be equal. This and that. But there are women that still want, you know, that still like that. And I know it's hard to find, but they're there. So you think they're there, like so we like that shit.
So you really think that I'm not trying to put words in your mouth.
Yeah.
But that statement, I like that. That held water, but I want to get a little bit more into it. You think that one of the reasons that chivalry has diminished, has you know, lightened, is because of this strong woman movement of, hey, you know, equalities and women should, you know, do everything this and that. So men have taken a step back. Do men feel like, nah, bro, she's just going to fucking feel like, oh, I got this. No, I got this. Where do you stand on that? Because I like that. I didn't see this coming, but this is good that you said that, because do you think that's one of the big reasons?
Well, yeah. I mean, I say it also from experience because, and we've talked about this too, I find myself doing everything, you know. And
these guys get fucking insulted by it, right? They feel weird about it.
And it's just, you know, if I just meet somebody, I'm not going to be like, hey, can we do this? Can you do that? You know what I'm saying? Like, so I've always been the type of person to take it upon myself as, I mean, like I said, I've been single for a long time too. And when I'm alone, I have to take care of my shit. So I've changed my oil. I'll, you know, if I got to, you know, do something with the car, whatever mechanical, like I figure that shit out and I'll do it. You know, I know how to put air in my tires. I know how to, you know, check for codes on my car, like whatever, shit like that. Like I know how to do it, whatever.
Guys, she knows how to check for codes in the car.
Shut up.
If that doesn't turn you on, I ain't never checked for a code in my car in my life.
I might have said it wrong. I'm not
but
a mechanic.
Nyssa,
I'm not a mechanic.
Nyssa got this, you motherfuckers.
No, but it's just like I've had to do stuff for myself. So I feel like me doing that and a man that I might meet or whatever and be interested in, and he knows that I do all that. He's like, oh, I don't, you know, why wouldn't she give me that place? Or, you know, if he's more a little bit traditional.
Okay.
If he's not, but he might be like, oh man, she can do everything by herself. Like,
and then
why would I
get complacent or just back off from trying to
just kind of maybe back off, I think.
Lessen his efforts because of that.
Yeah, I think maybe it's more of a thing like that where you kind of be like, oh no, man, shit, you know, she's got it handled. And then it goes back to the thing of a woman being too
so
independent,
so let me piggyback that. So obviously every situation is different, right?
Yeah.
And based upon how you got raised and you know, all that riffraff, we already been through that. But if you're somebody who really wants Prince Charles, if you really want, you know, for whatever reason, if that's what you grew up seeing, if that's what you grew up thinking that you should get, if it's just your thing, then cool, then that's your thing. Then let it be known, expect it, live by it, die by it, cool. If you're not that fucking, you know, royal, then I would say, hey, it's always a great gesture, and it should be expected, only because it's a nice gesture. But when I say that, yeah, I guess guys should do it more because we still haven't gotten out of that phase where men are the ones who should do it. And I'm all about that, by the way. I think I've opened your door a few times when we've hung out as friends, and I was like, hey, man, you know, I'm opening your door. But, you know, my mom's my life to me. My niece is my life to me. When it comes to women, I'm very chivalry and all that. But I also understand that, or I actually believe that, hey, you can do the same shit back. Mm-hmm. I don't need you to come all the way and open my car door. Matter of fact, if we're on a date, yeah, maybe I go a little extra, but really, if you're my girl, and it happens to be that the way we approach the car, your door is just way far side and mine's is here, I don't feel like I have to go around and open the door. But if we're coming from the opposite end and your door is before my door, there's no hesitation. I'm going to open your door. Yeah. I just don't feel like I have to go extra, like it's my duty.
Right.
You know, and neither is it your duty. But man, what a turn on if you open up my door. Yeah. Or if we're walking into the restaurant and you hold the door.
I don't think all men feel that way. Like, okay, so
that's that ego. They're still trying to remind themselves.
I've told you before, like, I've tried to pay for, like, I'll buy a dude a bar. I mean,
you always throw me off with these stories.
I'll buy a dude a drink at the bar.
Yes.
Not the whole bar, but I'll buy him a drink. And it's like, you know, some people are like receptive to it. They're like, all right, cool, you know, just buy me a drink. And then we talk and we have a conversation. But others are like, damn, you know, they don't feel right because you buy them a drink or you want to pick up the tab and stuff like that. And I don't know, for me personally, I know that as the men that I know who don't like it, they're like, damn, it's kind of like, I don't know, like a man card thing or whatever. They're like, oh, no, you kind of taking my, like, you know, so I'm the man. Like, it's a macho thing. I don't know.
Do you think when that happens, I don't know if you've given it this much thought, but when that happens, do you think that they start thinking ahead of time and they tell themselves that if you're doing this right now on the first day, second day, whatever, first drink, we socially just met at the bar, and you're doing this, then you're probably going to be this type of X, Y, and Z dominant type female who shows too much, whatever, that they're not turned on by? Or do you think that it's just right there at the moment, they're so turned off by that you did that it just throws them off?
I think that it could be a little bit of both. I think that, I don't know, I don't feel like all men want that, first of all. So it's kind of, but it's like, how do you know as a woman? Because we have conversations like this, right?
Right.
So then let's say I meet somebody and I'm like, hey, you know, but I want to pick up the tab because that was advice that you gave me or something. I don't know. Like, and then he doesn't feel that way. You know, I don't think that all men want that, you know? So I think if you do it, it has to be I don't know, you got to kind of like fill them out first, you know? But then you'd be surprised, too, that some men are like, shit, you know,
it's funny because
I like that.
I'm over here thinking like, all right, well, if you were to give a guy advice, what would you tell him? And when a split second I thought, you know, well, you should tell him, hey, man, go ahead and pick up the tab or let her pick up the tab or don't sweat it. But truth is, unless you sense a certain of like, oh, man, they're just really surprised. They've never really had this happen before.
Right.
I've
gotten that.
If you sense that, then keep going. Don't shy away and don't feel any kind of certain way about your actions. But if you don't sense that and you sense, you know, oh man, I don't know how I feel about that, whatever. It's not your job to change that person, and you probably do have the right to think that, man, if they were that weird about me, you know, taking care of the tab, how are they going to be in the future? And if they overthink it and now they don't want to pursue something with you because of that, I just think that's a better fit to not even try to make happen. Like, why?
Yeah.
That's a certain characteristic, man. I'm turned on by it. I'm like, wow, that's dope. Wow, that's very womanly of you. Wow, that's this, that's that. If it bothers a guy, you know his ego's in another place. You know what I mean? I'm not saying he's machismo, but there's something there. There's power control. There's an ego check there. There's a lot going on, and I think unless you're a fool, you should take that in consideration. Mm-hmm. You should take that in consideration. Yeah, so
that makes sense. Yeah.
So I would think that your best advice, even though you didn't say it, was, I don't know, how would you tell somebody that? Because you don't want to tell them pay the tab if you're not feeling right.
No,
if she wants to pay the tab, just let her pay it. If you feel weird about it, make it known on the next phone call, text, whatever. But if she wants to pay, just let her fucking pay.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's, like I said, everybody's different, and we all have our own little things. But I mean, if she's like, hey, let me pay the tab or whatever, I don't know, if you don't want to pay it or it's like half and half, I don't know, whatever it is, but just communicate it. And it's, things can be resolved. Just because it happened like that the first time doesn't mean that, there's a second go or whatever. I don't know, depending on how it happens.
I saw an interview with a clip of an interview with 50 Cent. And I'm sure that whoever posted it did it because 50 Cent was trending after the Super Bowl because of, he was part of the performance. But anyhow, the clip was, all it did was remind me of my best friend Chris and what we talk about a lot. And I know he's going to hear this and see this and he's going to have his opinion about it. Who pays? Who pays? He's very like uptight about who pays, and he hates that. Women feel very entitled, and they tend to abuse the entitlement as to like a man should continue paying. I don't know how long it is until you guys are whatever type of couple, whatever peak it reaches, until it's finally like, hey, how about you fucking pay sometimes? I'm no longer trying to date you. You're my girl, and I'm tired of your shit already. But otherwise, you have the whole, the man should pay until whatever. So there's the argument, right? So the argument was, who should pay? Who should pay on the first date? And this has been a topic that goes on, and I don't want to hit that super general question to you, but the argument was whoever invites.
Exactly.
And if you're the typical man, because it almost never happens through the female, typical man is going to be the first to present the invitation. Hey, what are you doing this? Like, why? Because that's the manly thing to do. All right. There's no way around that. If you want to argue that, argue it on another podcast. But so the man's supposed to do it. But regardless, that's why more often than not, that first date, maybe even the second date, it's probably going to be the man. Why? Because he's the pursuer. He's the predator on the prey, whatever you want to call it. It's that manly lion, this, that.
And that's a traditional thing.
It is.
Right? It's a traditional thing.
Of course it is. There's no way. I mean, how traditional? I don't know, man. That's an argument on its own, remember, you're talking about kings versus queens. Yeah. The king was always higher. You're talking about prince versus princess. I mean, cavemen, club the woman over the head, drag her by her hair. Horrible example. Mine. Yeah, horrible example, but it was just like the man because of the man. I'm not trying to hang on that at all. Yeah. But in today's era, regardless of who's first, typically it should be the guy once, twice. But once the ball gets rolling, it now becomes whoever invites.
I think it's whoever invites.
Whoever invites.
If I talk to someone and I'm like, hey, let's go have a drink, or let's go have coffee in the morning, or let's go have breakfast, I'm gonna want to pay. I'm gonna offer to pay because I think it's whoever invites initially. And then if it's the man who always invites, I think it's fair to be like, hey, one night, either you pick up the tab or you're like, hey, hey, what's up? What are you doing? This day. And he's like, oh yeah, nothing. All right, cool. How about I pick you up and we go hang out. Right. So then I think it's nice to be like, all right, I'll pick you up and then we go have dinner. And
so
then,
whatever. Look, I'm gonna.
So she takes him on a date.
But I'm gonna act like my boy Chris, right? So what if he was so used to that every time this happens, he's paying because he felt like he's supposed to. And then out of nowhere, you know, you hit him up. You say what you said. Hey, why don't we, you know, go have a couple drinks over here, and then we shoot some pool, and then we'll go have dinner.
But I'm picking you up.
But I'm picking you up. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm picking you up. Meaning, to me, I don't know. I can't talk for Chris. For me, I'm like, okay, that means, you know, she wants me to get fucked up because I don't have to drive. You know, she wants that extra good sex. You know, like I don't know, but I'm not thinking that means you're paying for everything.
Like, no,
not at all.
it'd be like, look,
Not
I want to
as-
take you on a date. You
Now,
know,
you didn't say that the first time. You
so
said
you have
said,
to
hey.
communicate it.
You
Well,
see how
okay,
weird?
so
Okay, so
no,
hold on.
'cause-
So I'm being petty. I'm being petty right now. But I think I'm being petty for all the right reasons because I think that
You're right.
this weird ass fucking no man land
Yeah.
of who does what,
Non-communication.
is
Right.
based upon not just who invites who, but how you word
How
it.
you say it.
Like it's just so
Yeah.
stupid.
So-
I know.
So the last time that I did that, I was like, hey, what's up? What are you doing this night? And I was like, hey, can I take, I want to take you out. You know, you've taken me out. I want to take you out. This was over a year ago, whatever. I was like, I want to take you out. I want to take you on a date. And we went on a date, and I took him to dinner. I was like, we went to dinner. We went to a movie. We hung out. We had a good time. And it was me. I was like, I have this. Like, I got this because I want to do this for you.
So imagine though, if a guy's willing to just tell you, hey, one of this, one of that, and he's the one paying the tab. But now you come with this. I don't know. I guess I don't want to defend the guy. It's just weird. But if you don't communicate it clearly enough,
if I don't say I want to take you on a date,
this is why he's gonna feel weird. And my whole basis of the original question earlier was, what if he's gonna come up with an excuse because he just feels like I'm gonna end up paying no matter what. I'm paying. Yeah, I want to do all that you're talking about, but I'm going to end up paying. Why? Because I've been paying for everything for a minute now. The only time you did this was, he'll never tell you that, but this crosses his mind when out of nowhere you want to surprise him, and then he's over here trying to pinch pennies. I don't know. Devil's advocate, I'm just saying,
clear communication.
We'll fix it all.
Clear.
What's up, everybody? Just want to take a quick second to tell you guys thank you so much for all the love and support. We are officially into season 4 of the podcast, and I have an array of brand new guests that you guys are going to love. For now, enjoy the rest of the show. Hold that bottle up, God damn it. So all in all, I think that the foundation of the best advice is communication. Communication, right?
Yes.
On all levels.
Yes, all levels. Everywhere.
Especially.
Where?
You tell me.
I think it's very important in the bedroom.
I'm saying you're one of those, you're my dog.
Super important.
You tell me certain stories, I'm like, what the fuck? For real?
I mean, so sexually, the stuff, we were talking about this. Mm-hmm. I believe in all the soul connections and all those different, things that happen when you have sex with somebody, right?
Okay.
But I think that when you do decide that, that person is the one you want to, explore all
extra
these things with.
Okay.
There should be total communication. But
I like how you said that. It's when you decide that
right.
This is somebody you're willing to explore into extra realms.
Extracurricular activities.
Right. So if you feel that bug for this person, once you feel that bug for this person, it's time to be very communicative.
Right. And I feel like there's nothing that should hold you back from that. You should always, and I think a big thing is like, what do you want? I don't know. For me, personally, it's like, I want to know what they want, so I'll ask. But I feel like I don't think very many people are comfortable with that question.
What do you want?
I could be wrong. Yeah. What do you want?
I mean, that's a very, one is broad, but if you're talking about sex.
No, but sex, I'm saying you're in the moment, and it's like,
you're talking about in the moment.
You're like in the moment.
Oh, I think you're talking about like getting to know somebody.
It's like getting like, and then it's like, bro, what do you want?
You might get thrown off by what some people would say, and then you might feel like, I can just dominate this motherfucker right now because they're so timid to answering me. But then you might be like, what do you want? Oh, for real? You down for that? Because I got a drawer full of fucking clean dildos, motherfucker. But you see why you gotta be careful with that?
I think it could go any way, but I think it should always still communicate it anyway. You know.
To help out, what I think you're saying is, I'm not gonna help out. I'm gonna add extra. If you're gonna bother putting any time, we had that portion when we were talking earlier about energy and what if it was measured in units, right? So if you're gonna put any time into doing what your partner wants, being willing to put up with certain things and so on and so, just this whole sexual, here's where I'm at, where are you at? I'd like to meet in the middle. Hope you can favor this, what I really would want. But if you don't, at least meet me here. He probably should be thinking the same thing and so on and so forth. If all that's there, you got a good a chance of something healthy, But if you don't talk it out and one is just like, hey, I'll deal with that for now, or I'll deal with, I'll let you do that once. I mean, if it's unclear, then when shit gets stale, when you guys, get into that 5th year, 7th year, one kid, whatever the hell it is, one of those things that just comes with time. And then that lack of communication, that lack of like, hey, I know we don't have sex that much because we got 2 kids and we're busy with work, but when you give it to me, make sure you put your finger in my butt. Whatever it is, I don't know.
Yeah.
If that's not clear, man, this small issue is going to become way bigger, all because you didn't communicate enough. So I feel you on that.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah, so communication is key, I think, everywhere.
Yeah. You think, I think that some people, not some, a lot, I'll probably say a lot. I don't know what the percentage is, but again, it's always based upon what you've been through. But I think a lot of people tell themselves, when they see flaws in this individual, they think they're going to change it. They think that their love or that pussy or this dick is going to change them.
Yep.
I'll fuck her out of that. Don't worry about it. Yeah. or the woman, I'll just ride him until he forgets about that dumbass habit, Yeah. And it's just stupidity. Yeah. And it's acceptable when you're young, but once again, we're talking about those 30s. Once you get in those 30s, if you're still thinking that but this one will be different, you're an idiot. You set yourself up for what more than likely is coming. I'd like to tell people, if I was going to give advice, I'd like to give them very, very raw and uncut, like this, you don't want to hear this.
Yeah.
And I'm not that guy who you were talking about earlier who was, so pessimistic, so down on life. No. I'm very realistic.
Right.
And I just want to tell you that, if you're a certain way, you're probably going to, go through this. Mm-hmm. But if you apply these methods, you'll probably, just that type of approach. But I won't hesitate to tell you that, man, if you keep being lovey-dovey and believing every motherfucker that, tells you a certain I love you type shit, you're going to get your heart stomped on.
Oh, yeah.
For quite a while.
Yeah.
Can't ask people to be hardcore. You can't ask them to be cold-hearted. But you want them to be, just smell when you
Smarter.
When you smell bullshit, if you smell it, if it sounds like it, if it looks like it,
it's bullshit.
It probably is bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, where's this friendly ass heart coming from? It's probably bullshit. And I think that's something that I try to, teach people.
Yeah.
Apply to them.
No, I agree with that because it's like, you have to kind of, some people you have to guide. You have to be like, hey, you're fucking up too much. Like this has been repetitive. So.
And maybe that's one of the problems, that once it gets repetitive, people get tired of trying to convince somebody of this is how it is. It's like when you have that friend of like, bro, or whatever you guys call your girl. Do you guys say bro?
Sometimes, yeah.
Bitch.
Every once in a while.
Bitch. You're going to keep going through this because you haven't gotten it just thus far. Yeah. And I don't care to hold your hand anymore because I'm in this phase of my life. And then you just kind of, you know, people just, they end up becoming a statistic.
Yeah.
As bad as it sounds, they become a statistic. It's kind of like that person who sees everything happen at their house. I don't want to ever be like, you know, my mom, or, you know, saw her go through this with my dad, blah, blah, blah. But that's all you know.
That's all you.
And you don't realize that therefore you're going to go through it yourself because in some weird way you yearn it, you know? It's a weird psychological sick ordeal that if you don't have a true understanding as to like why that happens, you won't realize that you're caught up in that very same situation.
Yeah. That's that childhood trauma thing
as well.
You know, that's you know, sometimes people don't ever get past those things.
And you said it right, childhood trauma.
Yes.
Like you would never think something so small as like 9 years old. You took this away from me. You saw this. You hit me this way. You talked to me this way. I witnessed this.
Yeah.
And it
stayed with you your whole life until your 40s. And then you're 40 years old and you're like, oh, shit, you know, dealing with that trauma.
and it's so difficult to accept it.
Mm-hmm.
Is this why I've been like this?
Yeah.
Is this why I just pushed away this amazing person in my life?
Yeah, I saw something today. It's funny that you mentioned that. I saw something today. They did a DMT, the ayahuasca stuff. They did that. And it was somebody who was, you know, whatever. They were doing it for the first time.
Okay.
And I was like, holy shit, I need to do that. Like, I was like, I want to do that. I was like, I have to.
Are you committed to doing it? Or are you just
totally
saying
committed
it?
to doing it. Yeah, totally. As long as, look, I'm a good girl.
To what extent, though? Going to, no, not to what extent you're a good girl.
No.
To going to see the shaman.
I want to do all that. You know, I think it's important for me personally, just kind of where I'm at right now. I'm like, I have to do it. Like, it's something that I have to do. But like I said, I'm not anybody who's ever experimented or ever, like, you know, the only thing I've ever done is smoked weed and drank.
So I was about to ask you, so you never done shrooms?
Never.
But you're going to go that hard?
I think
you're talking about 0 to 100.
I heard that it's good for you. Like, I heard that it's something that you should do.
I don't
like,
know, but I would try to suggest do some
like,
mushrooms
get to the next level.
First.
You know?
I don't know. I don't know. I've seen a lot of little docu-series pieces or whatever on ayahuasca and DMT and all that, and obviously Joe Rogan and people he's had on. I've never heard of somebody going straight from like, I've never done anything except
to that
weed to that extreme. Yeah. Like, there's always like, hey, test this first.
Yeah.
Because if not, this shit here might take you through a roller coaster. I don't know. You don't ever come back from it. I don't know.
Well, I mean, if there's anybody that I think you do know, like, I mean, I would totally be looking for like the guidance. Like, I really want to I want to get to like the next level. So I'm like, let's, you know.
So why don't you, I mean,
want to keep going with the whole like growing.
Yeah,
stuff,
of course,
you know?
of course.
Super important to me.
Why wouldn't you entertain, or maybe you would entertain, but why don't you entertain just doing shrooms first?
Well, I would.
If you, and I hope you fucking did. If you saw my last podcast with Romy,
I did.
You know, she has some great things to say about how that played a big role in taking her to the next level of life and understanding life and all of it, DMT, ayahuasca, but it all started with shrooms. And right now it ended at shrooms. I'm sure she would do either DMT or ayahuasca again, like most people who have tried it. But it really just all revolves around shrooms and just the right amount and whatever. So, I don't know. I would want to suggest that you should probably do that first.
Yeah. Well, that was kind of the idea. So,
yeah?
Yeah. I was like, that's what I'm going to do first. So.
But you haven't set a goal? I said like a date?
I haven't because of my I don't know enough about it, you know?
Yeah,
that's kind of my
Did something happen that made
ignorance.
You want to do this? Something spiritual, something weird, or was it just watching, something on YouTube?
No, it's just me, in my growth, just trying
to
do better.
Okay, I like
just trying to do better. I like that. The energy stuff, the way that I live my life, the way that I treat people, all that stuff. I think it's something that I'm changing little by little. Even though I've never been a horrible person, anything like that.
Right.
But it's important to grow, and I'm going through this thing, and I want to grow more.
And part of this thing has led you to be open to trying
Yeah.
something such as that? Have you done your research as to like, what a trip costs and this and that, all that riffraff?
Yeah, I've done some of it, and I'm still interested. So, but I just want to I wanted to be with somebody that, is trustworthy, obviously, and that I know that, And today I saw someone who, I think it's her and her boyfriend, they do it. And I followed her for a long time and stuff. And I was like, damn, shit, maybe I'll hit them up and be like, hey, can I do this with you guys, So.
If you pull that trigger, go ahead. Up to you. Not trying to pull you back from that. If you're willing to entertain something before that, and I'm not just trying to plug her in because it's her, but I just think, man, what a coincidental perfect time.
Yeah.
Roll me with her retreat, the spiritual retreat. I think it's happening. Oh my God, Romy, don't hate me. June, I think it's June or July.
Yeah.
And they go to North Carolina. They rent for about like 3 or 4 days, and it's a spiritual retreat. And she's not you don't have to do it, but
is it like camping? Is it like a camping?
Well, you don't have to camp.
Okay.
You can get a Airbnb. You can have whatever's in that range of driving distance or in the actual spot. But you can definitely camp if you want to.
Right.
That's for sure. Yeah. I don't want to make it seem like everybody's hippie and out and camping. No, because Romy made it seem like they had a dope little spot and somebody had an Airbnb over here and somebody had. So, nah. It's the entire experience. She says she does, I don't want to say recommend, but she does encourage that if you want to use psychedelics, especially mushrooms, that she's 100% on board with that, and she condones it and she practices it herself. So it becomes a very different type of spiritual retreat. Sounded very, very enticing to me. I'm definitely going to do it. I want to experience it with them. I'm totally down for that. I just want to tell you that before you jump the ledge of ayahuasca and DMT, why not, just do a little light level of this. You don't have to, Nyssa, I promise you don't have to. There's a lot of people who be like, bro, you can go from 0 to 100. You don't need fucking 50 miles an hour. I just think you should.
Well, I'm a lightweight with all that stuff. Like,
but you trying to, but you going
that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm willing. Like, I just want to know. I need somebody to be like, hey, this is what.
But you're talking about going from chalk dust to fucking pure cocaine. You're talking about like a huge jump.
So I appreciate that. I'm gonna check out Romy though. Like, I'm gonna be like, hey.
Yes, you should. And I even told her I'm gonna do it with them. So I hope, I don't want to renege. But I told him, I said, when you guys do it, the demand was so high that they had to take one of the dates off. But I know that they're going to do one more date, and if I'm not mistaken, it's June or July. We'll find out. We'll talk about it because I want to be there. And I told her I want to be there, and I want to shroom the way that we were talking about because I've never shroomed like that. Mm-hmm. I want to shroom to a certain level. I know how many grams, and I want to do it in nature. Yeah. Because that's the best feeling, according to everybody, all popular senses.
That's what I hear.
And I want to do it with the right people who are just feeling a certain way, open-minded to this, and that. I don't have to sit there and fucking kumbaya with them, but just they're on the same purpose of just all kind of love, happiness, and open-mindedness. I would imagine that's a great experience. Yeah. Haven't done it yet. Easy for me to imagine that it will be, So I definitely want to entertain it. So before you start smoking crack, I think you should go ahead and
that crack ain't happening.
I'm just saying, we're gonna go back to this podcast, and it was like, Wes, how's your homegirl Nyssa? Bruh, I just saw her from Camilla's house.
If you don't stop,
she was in front of that. Remember that bar that she worked at? Yeah, she was in front, squatted.
Really?
Just begging for crack.
Never.
Talking about, I saw what's coming.
No, not all that.
I love the stories that I hear about people who do that. It varies. People talk about if you got demons, somehow they come about. Mm-hmm. If I don't know, I think it's a pitch in the dark. I don't think anything is consistent enough, but it definitely is a challenging yet reinvigorating experience. So whatever it brings from you, whether you see elves or you thought about some bad times that you went through, or there's a hidden message that you thought you decoded by the time you came through, doesn't matter if it was a rough situation or it went smooth or it was weird and funny. When you come out of it, majority of people are like, that was dope and it changed my life in a good way.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's what I've heard. So we'll see.
Smoke that crack. Now that Biden made that shit legal.
Where the free pipes at?
Yeah. Oh man, it's not.
Oh my God.
Let's not go there. Jesus Christ, the memes that came out of that shit.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I posted some of those.
Once again, we're in a weird situation, man. I mean, it's crazy when I was reading historical stuff like JFK was fucking Marilyn Monroe. The Watergate scandal with Nixon. Just different things that came from presidents before Biden. But here we are witnessing it live. Like just as live as like fucking Godzilla coming out the goddamn waters from China. Like we literally had the dumbest, most, I don't know what the fuck assness president ever in our existence. And we're just dumbfounded as to what's going on and how the news puts it. I mean, it's just crazy. I don't know what to expect.
Let's go, Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon. And I'm wondering, come 2024, we know Trump's coming back to compete. Is DeSantis coming? Is DeSantis, gonna run with Trump? He's gonna run on his own. He's gonna run on his own and then become Trump's sidekick. Is it, I don't know. It's gonna be a weird thing, and I don't know what effect that's gonna have on the world. But again, this is us adjusting to an era that none of us saw coming. None of us saw coming.
We're here to find out, though.
Yeah,
we'll be ready.
I'm not fighting shit though.
We'll be ready.
I'm not fighting shit though. I'm telling you right now.
You're not fighting shit.
Sitting back, smoking, see everybody else do what they do. Energy. Measured by units. Keep reminding yourself of that.
Got it.
Energy measured by units, you only have so much left in your tank. If you really remind yourself of that, Nyssa, I swear to God, you will fucking change every conversation you have with somebody. You'll be mid-stride in a conversation with somebody, and you'll be like, what the fuck? I just wasted like 17 joules on this motherfucker. And this is the stupidest conversation, fuck that. Fuck that. Whatever happens, happens. It's out of my control. I'm not saying that voting doesn't count, but I don't believe in it. Yeah. And I just think that your energy should just go to whatever surrounds you. That's why we're here today.
Yep. Good shit.
Sweetheart, I love you.
Cheers.
Thank you for coming to the podcast. This is only the first of many, many, many more to come.
Yeah. Good times.
Next time you bring your homegirls, let's talk some shit. Let's challenge these fellas out there. Let's see how everybody feels about the common sense between women, because I got your point of view, but you're a special breed as well as I think I am. So our opinions might be a little bit more limited and less general. Yeah. So we'll see if we can get some friends over here and talk some more shit. But at the end of the day, thank you for coming. I love you to death. You're one of my closest friends now that crept up on me so soon. For anybody who wants to start following you, Nyssa, and where's the underscore? NY underscore?
Yeah.
NY underscore SS.
Underscore.
2 underscores. Yeah. NY underscore SSA. That's it?
Yep.
That's it. That's how you meet Nyssa right there. That's how you get invited to next year's Halloween party.
Ooh, lit.
All kind of shit. Have you never been to Homestead? Get ready. It's a whole nother fucking level.
We do it big, y'all. We do it big.
Y'all want to catch us, having fun and continuing this type of conversation, man. Meet us at Duffy's. I swear to God, you guys owe me money. Yep. Nyssa, I love you.
Love
peace, and hair grease, sweetie.
Cheers.
Great having you on the podcast. Guys, take care of yourself. Be good to others. Peace.